What's up, Conquerors? We have an exciting series for you here today. We have the GUA's USA Cup Losers Finals. And we're going to have GUA going against FILISBERTO in a best-of-5 series. So really excited to see what these two guys are going to have in store for us today. Once they have the drafts up, I'm going to take a look at the drafts. Quick switch over while I do something in my browser here. Alright, so for GUA's USA Cup, FILISBERTO against Give You Anxiety, also known as GUA. We've actually seen this matchup before in the winner's bracket of this tournament. So earlier in the tournament, we saw GUA against FILISBERTO in the winner's semifinal, and GUA was able to pull out a 3-1 victory there. And FILISBERTO was sent down to the loser's bracket at that time, where he beat Hunter 2-0 and then myself 3-1. And now he is in the loser's final for rematch against Give You Anxiety. I think we've got the drafts in, so if we take a look over at the map drafts here, we're going to see that GUA has picked, well, let's start with the bans first. We're going to see that GUA has banned Holy Island and Frisian Marshes. And then FILISBERTO has banned Kurlager and King of the Hill, so I think King of the Hill is pretty normal ban. I would 100% ban that map myself. I definitely don't want to play King of the Hill in a tournament game. Like, kind of a cool map, but not really sure that's a map that I would want to play in a tournament game. Like, lots of weird things can happen on that map. So definitely not one that I would want to screw around with. And Kurlager, that's a ban, so that's a hybrid map. 2 rivers run on the side of it, and then both of the players' town centers are in the middle of the map there. Then GUA banned Holy Island and Frisian Marshes, both hybrid maps, and he actually picked Golden Heights and Dry Arabia, which is really interesting. So, really odd that he banned 2 hybrid maps and then picked a hybrid map. But maybe he's got a strategy and plan for Golden Heights. You really never know what the players have been cooking up behind the scenes here. And then FILISBERTO picked Kawasan and Lipany. So Kawasan, another hybrid map. Kind of seems like FILISBERTO probably just didn't want to play Kurlager specifically, but, you know, he had a lot of success against me on Kawasan and Lipany. I played against FILISBERTO on both of those maps. He beat me on both of those maps. Lipany beat me pretty bad. Kawasan was a much more even match, and interestingly enough, GUA's picked Golden Heights here, which I had a strategy on Golden Heights that beat FILISBERTO and my previous opponent, Yak, pretty efficiently. So I'm interested to see why GUA's picked Golden Heights. Like, if he's kind of identified a strategy that's working there for him, and then he's also picked Dry Arabia, which is just kind of a classic, right? So Dry Arabia is a classic matchup of skill against skill. We've also got Coastal Cliffs, which is the admin pick, and then we've also got the Civ draft in now. And just getting things kind of prepped and set up here while I wait for the players to get in game and really get things going. Ready for the action to start. So the Civ draft's still underway here, actually. So perfect timing. Hey, Jade. How's it going? Jade Warrior Aristotle. So normally what the players are trying to do is they're trying to take these maps that they've drafted and then get civilizations that they think are going to be good on those maps. Also understanding most of the time, well, and this, I think moving forward in tournaments, but this tournament as well, these civilizations, they're going to pick 2 civilizations per map. So essentially, like, before game 1, which is going to be Coastal Cliffs, they'll do a draft specifically for that map. Each of them will pick 2 civs, and then they have the opportunity to snipe the civ 1 civilization out of the 2 of their opponent. So, like, if GUA picks Japanese and House of Lancaster first map, FILISBERTO can snipe one of those and say, no, you can't play that. So you almost kind of, it's tough, actually, when you're doing these drafts. Because in this best of 5, you have to kind of look at the 5 maps that have been selected and try to have like 2 civs that are going to fit each one of these maps, which makes it kind of tough. I'm good, brother. How are you? Yeah, China. China's like my first ban. I would always ban China. I think China has arguably been the best civ in the game since the beginning of the game. They're just a strong overall civ. Really, their only weakness is that farm transition, which is a big one. So I think unless someone's got like a really strong main civilization, like FILISBERTO and I are both, you know, Mongol main, so you can see GUA banned Mongols. China's a great ban. And then, yeah, they both banned Ottoman, which, given the maps, also not super surprising, because we've got 3... Well, actually, Coastal Cliff's not a hybrid map, so only 2 hybrid maps. Ottoman, strong in general civ, but I do think it's just a tad better on those hybrid maps. KT with GUA, so not quite the dominant hybrid civ that it once was, but still pretty good. And Tughlaq Dynasty, which I think, in my mind, I used them in my last 2 series, is kind of the new king of hybrid maps. Whether that be true or not, that's just been my experience playing Tughlaq a bit. Is they're crazy good on the hybrid maps, and you know, out of this draft, if I've got Tughlaq, like I'm trying to play them on Golden Heights for sure. I think they're almost no win's a lock-in win, but if you have Tughlaq on Golden Heights, it's as close to that as you're gonna get. But it's an interesting draft, you know. It's really all kind of about how you can match up these civilizations against each other. You know, obviously, like, Ayyubid would be good against a civilization like French or Mongol. I mean, I think FILISBERTO's, they both have civilizations I like a lot. Like Japanese, House of Lancaster for GUA, really strong civilizations. I know GUA is really good with French. I really haven't decided how much I like KTE on hybrid maps these days with the increased dock cost to 250. Mongols obviously still a great civ on hybrid maps and my favorite civilization. Don't really like English very much these days. HRE, it's a civilization I draft, but have thought about leaving them off the draft these days. And then I like a lot of what FILISBERTO's got. Really like Ayyubid, really like Malian, both strong civs. Really like Byzantine. Byzantine's an easy lock for Lipany if you can get it there. Abbasid really drafted kind of highly for him. A little surprised by that, but maybe he's got something cooked up for us. And then Juji's Legacy, great civ, 2 Glock, great on hybrid. Order of the Dragon. As a last pick, I think Order of the Dragon's really pretty good, to be honest with you. You know, you wouldn't draft Order of the Dragon like high up, but as your 7th pick, if you're getting Order of the Dragon, it's pretty good. I think they might have redrafted. Oh, nope, this is the civilization draft for the first map. So the first map is going to be Coastal Cliffs. This is actually a really good example of how the snipe process works here. So Coastal Cliffs, GUA drafted Japan and French. And FILISBERTO drafted Malians and Order of the Dragon. And I love Malians on this map. I would also play Malians on this map if I could get it. So Coastal Cliffs, you can't fish or anything. It looks like it's a hybrid map, but it's really just a condensed land map. And so it's going to be interesting to see how GUA plays French here, because it's not really it's not a wide map. And, you know, a lot of the time if you're doing cav raids, you're trying to split off wide and pick off villagers on the map. But it's a bit of a condensed land map. And so I think that works quite well for infantry on this map. You know, infantry don't really have to run too far to cover against these night raids. So interested to see what the players do here. And I think they're getting in lobby and starting to get ready to roll here. It is interesting, neither of them. I've actually seen Sengoku Dynasty get picked quite a bit. So, I think the only new civ that made it through is 2 Glock. So, no Macedonian Dynasty, no Sengoku Daimyo. No Golden Horde. And I think they're in game finally, so let's get over there. So I'm going to switch view here, get us to the first game, which is going to be on Coastal Cliffs. GUA against FILISBERTO. You should now be looking at an Age of Empires screen. If you're not, let me know. Alright, so game 1 in this best of 5 series. We're going to play on Coastal Cliffs. And we're going to have an observer delay. Anticlimactic, but pretty normal. Pretty normal to have a bit of an observer delay here. You know, not that anyone would ever be relaying information to someone, but just pretty normal to have on these games. And if you're not familiar with the map, once you see it, I think you'll kind of understand why it looks like a hybrid map, but is not. Alright, so we're in. We're going to switch to caster mode here. And in the color blue, we've got GUA playing French. Pretty standard opener here. And in the color yellow, we've got FILISBERTO playing with the Malian. What's really funny about this map, these are the cliffs, which you cannot bypass these and get to the water. But the map creator, Ayyubids, decided it would still be funny to put all these deep water fish out here to confuse anyone who's not played the map. So, pretty standard opening here. Berto going for the 5 on wood, building up the pit mine. Very, very standard thing to do for the Malian build. And then we've got GUA going for the early wheelbarrow here, which is also really common for French to do. You're going to see that really often. The French technologies are cheaper, so this wheelbarrow is only 33 wood, 98 gold, which makes it a lot easier and more worthwhile to get really early in this game for French. I think something that's pretty underrated with the French civilizations, also, you know, the normal villager build time is 20 seconds. But for French villagers, it's 17 seconds. So, over the course of a game, you know, if you're playing a game for 40 minutes, this villager reduced build time really adds up over the course of a game. Now, if we look at map spawns, because anytime I'm playing a game, and you can see they're both scouting here, trying to pick up some sheeple. Anytime I'm playing a game and I'm scouting, I'm kind of trying to figure out like what my future expansion points are. So, you know, if I'm looking at GUA, his position right now and what it looks like, to be completely honest with you, he's got really bad gold position. So he's got 2 front golds all the way out here, and his next closest gold is way to the right. So if I am playing in his position, though, and I've scouted this, I know, like, this is an area I've got to secure, right? Is this top left side of the map near my town center. If I can't secure kind of this location, then I'm probably going to lose the game as French if I can't secure that gold. And, you know, all of his wood lines are a bit vulnerable. So at least this one's pretty safe in the town center, but once you eat through a bit, it'll be easy to attack from here. And, you know, if GUA decides to go pro scouts, both his deer packs are on the right side. So if FILISBERTO decides to pressure the pro scouts, he knows he just needs to send units out of this right side. So it's kind of a weird spawn for GUA. You know, both the golds in the top left, both the deer on the far right. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays it. He got a lot of sheep, though, which is really, really good for the French. And on this map specifically, your stone always spawns super far away. So this map is kind of like purposely designed in my mind to not allow people to go to town center. Like the stone's always far away from you. And school cavalry, pretty normal. If we look at FILISBERTO, I actually love what he's doing here. I've played this map and done the exact same thing in this tournament, which is if you have a deer beside a gold, you just go ahead and drop the Saharan trade network and push the deer in. You can see the deer aren't cooperating with him here. They're not very scared of the scout. But if you can push the deer in as close as possible to this mill, you've got a lot of really secure food here. And knights really can't do much to raid under this Saharan trade network. It's got a really long range, 8 tiles of range. And I played this exact same matchup on this map against a different player in the tournament, and I did this same thing. So, you know, it's always going to be difficult for him to get a pit mine out on this far out gold and the houses around it without the French doing some damage. So, you know, opener knight here. But with the Saharan trade network up, FILISBERTO is going to be really safe on this map. So, I think, you know, in pro play, pretty much all the guys I see go Mansakori for the extra gold per minute. I think that's always like the meta move for the top guys. But I personally, I do really like the Saharan trade network here. It's going to keep you safe and your gold mine safe for a long time. And if you get dived, you just have more garrison space. We're going to see the knights coming out from GUA. Going to see eco upgrades coming for him on the backside. Double broadaxe and survival techniques. If he's getting survival techniques right now, that's kind of an indicator to me he's not going pro scouts. But I guess we'll see. So, knight trying to find some damage here. You know, not really a lot to find, to be honest with you. FILISBERTO pumping out some Donzos, push the knights away. And the Donzos have that dreaded javelin throw, so they can really do a lot of damage to your knights without ever entering combat with that javelin throw. I'm really interested that GUA's gotten the survival techniques, but hasn't moved out to deer yet. Maybe that's just like a future, he's gotten it for the future. Future expansion point. Or maybe he really is planning on going pro scouts, I'm not sure. We shall see. FILISBERTO moving out to secure the second pit mine here. So really smart by him not to do this too early. Like, with the French knights out, you can't just send a villager out there by himself. He's going to die. And here's the move out to deer. So, already got survival techniques. Give you anxiety. Basically saying, you know, there's a trade-off. You go pro scouts, you pay for the technology and the cost of the scouts. Or you just walk the villagers out here. Right? Like, you've already got wheelbarrow. You're going to have map control for quite a while with the knights. So he just goes out here with the mill, trying to push in some deer with the units, and then he can practically do the same thing here, right? So I think seems like GUA has kind of accepted the fact that there's a Saharan trade network up right here and a town center and Donzos, and that he's going to have to build up more military mass before he can actually push on this base at all, right? The base is really well defended at the moment. And going out on the deer without going into pro scouts can definitely give him a bonus there. FILISBERTO still snacking on some deer himself out here. Getting an early wheelbarrow, just, you know, villager efficiency, but also if the knights are chasing you at some point in the game, it's going to be really good to have that wheelbarrow down. And kind of going into the classic Malian build here. Hardened Donzos to counter the knights. And where is our first javelin thrower? And then our javelin throwers to counter any archers that give you anxiety makes. So slowly, very slowly building up the cattle behind this. And what I really like about FILISBERTO doing this slowly is that you're not going to get killed. Like, anytime you scale cattle too fast, you put yourself at a risk of being pushed by this French player and losing the game. So He's doing a slow scale here. I don't actually know if that's enough room for the Fulani Corral. I guess we'll have to see. You know, FILISBERTO's a good player. I'm sure he's got the distance figured out precisely here. It'll be a tight fit for sure. You can see on this map all the relics in the middle of the map. 40 to 35 eco right now. You can see where that French villager production time is making its mark. FILISBERTO doing a little bit of scouting. You know, just trying to figure out what the opponent's up to, which is smart. And GUA beginning to put on some pressure. Really going to need the +1 ranged armor for the knights. You know, you don't really want to do this without your +1 ranged armor. Once you get your +1 in your chivalry, you can take a little you'll take less damage. Then you can get out and heal. It's a little tough to do it without the steeled arrow. What's up, Matrick? How's it going, man? We're not doing any playing right now, but doing some serious casting. So slow right now, FILISBERTO, you know, playing a pretty good defense. He's doing really exactly what you want to do as Malian, but you want to scale and get your cows. I'm actually really surprised that GUA is going Guildhall here. Yeah, I don't play a lot of French, so, and I know he's good with French, so he definitely knows better here. He's the better player with him. But it's an interesting kind of risk reward here because Malian's pretty good, like when they hit that castle spike. So, do you age up with Guildhall and get your veterancies, or do you just build a shitload of knights and feudal and then push the envelope? But, you know, FILISBERTO, if these veterancies, you know, come in quickly for GUA, he still might have the opportunity to push. So, it'll be really interesting to see how this game plays out with GUA going Guildhall here. He's definitely thinking of the long-term plan with Guildhall rather than the Royal Institute, so you know, that Guildhall will go on food and he'll save it up enough later for Red Palace. Just beat Absurd Crucible on every map. That's pretty awesome. I need to go back. I need to do some Crucible again. Maybe next weekend or something. It's really fun game mode. And yeah, if they get co-op, that's going to be super fun. And you were... First game of the series, pretty good so far. Yeah, I feel like I gotta play some more Crucible to get those perk points as well. Like, get the perk points going. Once you get some of the best perks, you can do some real damage, so... Yeah, these veteran Royal Knights now are going to be really difficult for FILISBERTO to deal with. I mean, honestly, regardless of the civilization that you're playing, a player who's really good with French is one of the scariest players that you can run into. Like, players that are really good with these Royal Knights, they can be devastating when they take engagements, so... Yeah, it's really interesting here. You know, the Grand Fulani Corral is going to go up. Perfect placement by FILISBERTO here. 20 cows. 8 of his deer out here, so not going to have food problems. You know, he did build the palisade without the gold mine in it, but I guess he's got the gold mine back here. So, pretty nice infantry force. Veterancies always come in faster for Malian. GUA looks like he wants to push here, but there are a lot of Donzos in the base of FILISBERTO. And, you know, what FILISBERTO's got to do now, he's going to have the food income. He's just got to get more unit producers down. That's always the thing with Malian here. You got to get a shitload of food unit producers down so you can pump these units out, right? Like, you do not want to be floating food right now. You want to be making units. As many units as you can make, really. So, and GUA making Spearman are behind this, most likely thinking that FILISBERTO is going Sofa, but I have not seen a stable in sight. Doesn't mean he won't, but we just haven't seen it yet. And GUA's got a lot of food in the bank. Let's see what that guild hall's on. Yeah, guild hall's just collecting food, slowly collecting some food here. If we look at the eco upgrades for each player, GUA doing really pretty well on the eco upgrades here. French always getting those cheaper upgrades. Getting all his blacksmith upgrades as well. FILISBERTO's starting to get some of those blacksmith upgrades in. Now he's getting the veteran sofa. But needs more production for sure. This is, you know, you can see he's got no guys on food and 32 on wood, and he's floating food. And this is like classic Malian here. Is you need to be throwing down so much production to use this food spike from the Grand Filani Corral. And a lot of units moving out here. The GUA is killing him on the relic race. I hadn't been paying attention to that a whole lot, but 3 relics in already. A 4th on the way, potentially a 5th here. And that's big. That's really big, because at the end of the game, when all the gold mines dry up, you know, if they get in a 40-minute game and the gold mines are gone, when one guy's got 5 relics and the other guy's got none, that's going to be an issue. And capturing sacred sites now, so I generally would favor Mali in this matchup. But GUA seeming to play this pretty damn well right now. FILISBERTO with just the mass here, but I don't actually think he can take this. All you need to do with the archers is kite the Donzos down to a reasonable number. You know, he's got 24 Donzos here. If you just kill 9, 10 Donzos, then you commit the knights, then you have the fight as French, so we'll have to see how this goes. Hardened Spearmen, so getting their upgrade now, coming in for GUA. And FILISBERTO sees the Spearmen, starts switching in archers. Easy play there for him. So the Spearmen for French here, really not too bad against Malian until they scale the archers, because Spearmen will, you know, trade okay with the Donzo, and then Javs don't get any bonus damage against the Spearmen. Spearmen will fight well against the Sofas, but once the archers get mixed in there, it's a different story. And let's switch to res per minute here. I'd really like to see the res numbers. So pretty close in food. Of course, FILISBERTO's got more in wood, and then GUA with a bit more gold just because of the relics. So really pretty close resource-wise right now. Neither side really wanted an engagement here, but as soon as I say that, here comes FILISBERTO. If you're playing Malian, you kind of know this is your moment, right? So he's out here on berries now. So eating through a lot of his food. Oh, he killed the monastery. That's actually really big. So you never want your monastery at the front of the base. You always want your monastery at the back, because you had 3 relics in that thing and it just got crunched. But this is going to be a big engagement. This is where micro is really important. So you want the archers to bring down the Donzos before you have the knights fully commit. You can kite in and out with the knights for now. Sofa's trying to wrap around to the archers on the backside. Got some Javs teeing off on the back. Pretty giant clash here. A lot of Sofa coming in now. A lot of Sofa spam coming from the back. FILISBERTO, you can see the yellow stream from across the map. It's kind of a tough fight to call with defender's advantage for French, but FILISBERTO pushing forward. GUA trying to regroup here. He's got 3 relics on the ground out here. And the knights with a good charge cleaning up some Sofa there. And these knights just cut through you, man. I mean, that's the dangerous thing about fighting into the French, is these knights will cut through every single unit that you have. Oh, GUA pulled the guild hall. He already pulled the guild hall. That's huge, man. So the guild hall, the more resources that are stored, the faster it generates. So if you pull it like that when it's already low, then these resources generate really slow. So that's a big deal. A lot of the time, French players, if they can, they're trying to wait for that guild hall to hit 2,400 food, and then you're pulling that shit and throwing down a red palace to secure a gold mine. FILISBERTO. Oh, he's gonna see it with the Imam. GUA is all over the map here. Gold, food, and FILISBERTO sees it now. So FILISBERTO pushing past the base, but this tower shoots the Imam, and FILISBERTO should know that GUA is on that food now, and he should sofa kill him. This is going to be maybe kind of rough for FILISBERTO, though. Maybe overextended a bit. And he's just got to get the archers out. He's, you know, ideally you pick off as many spears here as you can with the archers if you're going to lose them. And then you get out of there. I think FILISBERTO potentially missing the poison arrow upgrade. It's an expensive upgrade. Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you can't... Dude, you can't come out here on the deer. These villagers are dead. GUA probably ran out of food on this base. This was the only place to get the food, so, you know, I get it. But that's a rough place to put your villagers. Oh, and now, dude, now he's sneaky getting this stone in the back. So it's kind of looking better for FILISBERTO by the minute. With those 5 villager pickups, 6 villager pickups, that's really good. So gonna lose a guy there, but he's actually trying to get some really aggressive walls out here. But this is just the Malian mass, right? That's, yeah, no poison arrows, Matrick. He's got no poison arrows. And FILISBERTO looking good here. I mean, this is the Malian push. The Malian death ball. If he can bring some of these veteran spears down, he's going to be in a better spot. He's targeting down the archers. And this Sofa front line looks like it's doing pretty well here. Looks like GUA was trying to go for a raid. We've got a Wolo that's going to get sniped. And these knights are like really sorely needed at home, though. Something I do all the time is I go for a raid on the backside, and then I'm like, shit, I need my knights at home. And these knights might clean up these archers pretty hard. Yeah, if GUA can surround these, it's going to be a big hit here. Yeah, his archer's doing a surprisingly amount of decent damage against the knights, though, but they are going to get cleaned up. So, destroyed value pretty equal. GUA a bit in the lead. Now his army value is taken off, and FILISBERTO on the retreat here. FILISBERTO trying to regroup at home. GUA making some dangerous ass farms. What are the chances? I'm not hating on GUA. He beat me. He's a great player. But what are the chances all these villagers die? I mean, dude, they're farming in the middle of the map. I love GUA, but just put them in the back of the base, brother. Sometimes, saying this from experience, oh, the villagers finally caught out. These were the stone villagers. Casting from experience of playing in games, like, you just get APM capped out, the game's chaotic, and you do some crazy shit sometimes. So, we see horsemen coming out, but Horsemen don't quite yet have their upgrade, and yeah, Jade, I think you're right. I think if FILISBERTO has the poison upgrade, I think a couple of those fights go like drastically differently for him. Because archer arrows deal an additional 3 damage over 6 seconds. But I mean, that's every single archer arrow coming from the archers, right? So when you're oh, he's finally getting it. So it's going to be in 90 seconds. You ideally kind of want to hold off until then. Berto probably knows about this. He seems to be walking right towards this. But yeah, if your archers are in line formation and they're appropriately shooting the units across from them, which is always a big if with archers, then you're applying that poison on a ton of frontline units, right? So the poison arrows make these archers actually pretty viable against armored units is the thing. And I think FILISBERTO's actually doing the right thing here, which is hunting the knights. I wouldn't normally say hunt knights, but I think he can trap them here if he plays this right. And, dude, this is the Malian spam right now we're seeing. 45 archers, 42 donzos. These knights are dead. That's actually a really, really big loss. If you look at 240 value out of 10 knights, so 240 times 10, and that just, you got, unfortunately, you got 1 villager for that. I love raiding as well. I probably would have gotten caught doing the exact same thing, so it's going to be really hard for GUA to turn back. He is going into men-at-arms, but it'll be tough against the poison archers. He's going for a big raid here. And FILISBERTO doing a great job with the walls. FILISBERTO and I actually talked about this a little bit pre-game of you got a wall against GUA. There are certain players you have to wall against. You can't just leave your base open. GUA is one of those guys that, and I'm the same way. I have a raiding style. I'm going to shift queue units into your base, so you got to build these cross-map walls, even if they're palisade. And here comes the big clash. We have literally 1 billion poison archers on the backside. A lot of archers for GUA on the backside, trying to pump out men-at-arms for the front side while archers take the back line. Not a lot of arts coming out. Knights coming from the backside, but FILISBERTO, beautiful micro to pull the Donzos there against the Knights. And then continues to let the front side fight. Donzos are going to chase away the Knights, which is fine because everything in here can kill Donzos. So GUA doing the best he can to hold up here. And army value starting to really tip in favor of Berto. You know, this is a tough situation. There it is. I would love to see some desperate Wololo's. It's going to get sniped out by the archers. You can see on that monk how the poison stacked. Look, 4 stacks on that archer. And if you ever want to get good at some crazy game-saving Wololo's, what you want to try to do is put all the monks with the relics in the town center with the villagers, run back here, pop them out, Wololo 3 at the same time, and try to trap the army. But Berto, looking in a great position here. Economy untouched. We got cross-map walls on the mini-map. He's into the farming economy. And it's looking like it's game. I heard another relic picked up. Throws it in the monastery. Raids on the top side in the farmlands. Raids on the bottom side on the gold mine. Push through the middle of the base. Totally walled on this side, so not going to get raided. And that's game 1. So we got FILISBERTO taking game 1. Malian against French on Coastal Cliffs. Up 1-0 in the best 5 series. So great game there. I would say I would definitely expect, I would think, you know, if you had to take winning percentages or something like that on this, I would definitely expect that Mali's going to win this matchup. So I'm not shocked by that. Definitely GG's to both players. Thanks, Matrick, for the reminder there. GG's. I think both players really played pretty well. I think probably the toughest, kind of maybe the inflection point of the game is when you're French. Like, French looked real good for a while, but then French has got to do that farm transition, and Malians got cows for the food. So, like, even if Malian has to make some farms later, they don't have to. It's an easier farm transition. GUA has to go into like this crazy farm transition. He sends a lot of villagers out on the map for deer. Those get caught out and dead. You know, he lost a lot of villagers before the base even got broken. And I think, you know, I know something talking with FILISBERTO that he had planned for, and like part of the game plan that he was going to use against GUA was like, gotta build walls, man. GUA is one of those guys, when he's down, he's going to counter raid a lot. You saw FILISBERTO trapped knights and killed them when GUA went for the raids. So GUA is going to send these. He's very, very good at it. He's going to send these small groups out. He's going to raid his opponents. And FILISBERTO did a good job of shutting that down. So really quite close in resources gathered for a long time in this game. And I actually thought GUA took a lot of pretty good fights, and then GUA also had 4 relics, I think, at one point. 4 relics, and was bringing the 5th relic back. So, I mean, GUA was kind of killing it on relics there. I thought he did a good job. Let's see. You can see the military count there. Normally, this is more of an indicator of, excuse me, FILISBERTO able to reproduce his units rather than he didn't have any units die, right? He's probably also having a lot of units die, but just able to reproduce them. This is just kind of the Malian spike. I am a bit surprised. I mean, I think GUA still played well, but I'm a bit surprised he went castle instead of just sending it in feudal. Like, Malian's really hard to break in feudal, but they're damn near impossible to break in castle. So I would maybe be taking my chances in feudal there. Let's see if these guys are already in a game 2 or have done some sort of civilization draft for a game 2. Well, there's no draft link up, so let's just click observe match and see what we get. Ooh, Golden Heights here. So we got game 2 of this best of 5 series, Golden Heights. It's GUA against FILISBERTO. And if you're not familiar with Golden Heights, I'll kind of walk you through the map when we get there. I had the, hey, Matrick, day's been pretty good so far. How about yours? Not really too much going on, man. Hit the gym, worked on some videos for Age of Empires 4. Didn't really play much today, but worked on some videos. So I have some videos coming out this week. Nothing too crazy. Just a little video here and there. And here we go. We've got FILISBERTO in the yellow playing the Abbasid dynasty. Sorry, I was just a little bit confused. I'll come back to that. So, and then we've got in the blue, we've got Give You Anxiety playing the English. Sending out 2 villagers to build a dock, so this is really interesting. Actually, I had the pleasure of talking with FILISBERTO about this map and different play styles. We got some game plan talking, and this is not the civ. I know this is not the civ he was planning on playing. The civ he was planning on playing probably got sniped. I've seen GUA do this before, which is he pulls 2 villagers out. So I've seen him play House of Lancaster. He's got English now. And I think he pulls 2 villagers because if Berto's sending a villager out here, he's got 2 villagers to snipe the 1 villager because they have short bows. Berto also collected his gold early. And I was looking at that at first and thinking, why is he doing that? But the simple question is, he's scared of an English Dark Age rush. So there is a rush that, you know, you could have done as English, but the golds are very close, or the bases are very close, so you could have pulled 5 English villagers up here and pushed Berto off the gold, and he would have been in trouble. So, Scout actually doing a bit of damage here. Scout could actually potentially kill this villager, even though it seems crazy. He's going to have to hit that villager 26 more times. But it's not impossible that the Scout just returns and gets him again. Yeah, it's a good day to be lazy, man. It's a good day to be lazy and play some Crucible. I think the thing that, man, I've really been liking about Crucible and the free-for-alls is, you know, I play ranked ladder a lot, and it's just intense gameplay, you know? Like, it's just, like, high-level, intense gameplay, like, APM maxed out, all that stuff, and then I can play some free-for-all and Crucible and just, like, kind of chill, have a good time kind of thing, which is nice. So, what we see here from FILISBERTO, which, if you don't know this, if you're playing against Abbasid on a hybrid map, you're gonna get military winged. Like, that's gonna happen. Dude, if you're playing against Abbasid on a hybrid map and they don't go early dock, what FILISBERTO's gonna do is he's gonna get 2 spearmen and 2 archers from this military wing. He's gonna send them about right here in the stealth force. He's gonna drop a ram, and he's gonna bring this dock down, kill both the villagers. Ooh! Oh, dude. That Scout was so close to dead. So, I don't know if this military wing play is actually going to work, because it takes a really long time for Abba to age up, but there is definitely a timing here. There's a really good timing here Berto could have. Even if the king comes out, he's going to have 2 spearmen. So, also what you'll see with this play a lot is 2 spearmen, 2 archers come out, and upon age up, I don't know if he's going to do this, but I've seen a lot of people do this. You throw down a stable, and then you have triple comp immediately going into feudal with Abba. So, it can be a really strong play. We're definitely going to see a fight over the water here, though, and I'm kind of fired up to see it. He's pop capped, so they're not going to come out quite yet, but he's getting there. And GUA is going to scout it, man. And even if GUA makes a galley here, the ram's going to kill the dock. English is this is a weird civ matchup for this map. And that's not necessarily always because of how they drafted, but because of how these snipes work with the civ drafts now. So even if Berto, I didn't see the civ draft, but he and I talked about 2 block on this map being insanely good. So if he drafted like 2 block and Abba and GUA went H or E English or something, you just sniped the 2 good civs. So Ram coming down, I mean, he's going to have the timing on this Ram, dude. GUA's not getting over here to stop it. Excuse me. He's going to scout it, and he's going to be like, shit. That's what I would be saying. So, the really interesting thing here... Ooh, dude, and Berto getting the dock drop in. My guy. That's good play right there. That's good play. He did drop the stable, so he's got the horseman coming out. So if GUA goes longbow, anything like that, he's got the horseman coming. GUA looks like he may... This is really interesting how many guys he had on gold just now. And the way he's... Yeah, let's definitely just keep an eye on what GUA does after he loses this water. I'm interested to see if is he trying to like go feudal and contest this, or is he just gonna go castle? Because that's what I would do, man. Oh, he's building a springled ship, dude. That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work. Berto does need to bring this dock down, though, before it comes out, or that's just gonna be a pain to deal with. 9 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Springled ship just comes out, and it is going to be annoying because Berto's got a dock up here. But he can deal with it. You know, GUA's got no dock presence now. I'll be honest. If I'm playing and I'm in GUA's perspective right now, I'm like, this is potentially just game. Like, this is GG. What I would do, personally, if I'm GUA, is just go castle. That's, like, my only option here. You can go castle with King's Palace, try to match the economy, or you just do something freaking wild and, like, drop the White Tower right here and try to kill the landmarks. But you've lost the water, you're not getting it back right now. Berto's got units, you don't. But oh, nice demo on the ship. I've seen crazier. I mean, I've seen this exact map, these two guys playing when they played in the upper bracket, and Berto was killing him with the water economy. GUA somehow won it. So, you know, the game's never over till the fat lady sings. But it's looking bad for GUA right now. GUA does have more villagers. I think that's because of the fishing ships. This fishing ship's about to siege down the dock. I'm just kidding. They can't do that. Look at that detail. Look at the fish in there. FILISBERTO kind of, just hanging out. Seeing what he needs to do at this point. GUA is scaling towards castle. Bro, if I'm GUA, I'm dropping a white tower on this guy's ass. I'm not kidding, dude. I'm dropping a white tower right here if I'm GUA, and I'm going to treb these landmarks to death. Because Berto's over here, he's like, yeah, I'm making some fishing ships. This is pretty good. Spending a lot of res. And I'm like, boom! White tower right on you. I think GUA's probably going to go King's Palace, but I'm going white tower right here, dude. And ending this game. I think if you go King's Palace, yeah, he's going to do it, man. But you're going to have to outscale the fishing economy. It's a crazy play, dude. I actually think white tower could end the game here. Because you can't run away if you're Abbasid. You have 2 landmarks. You can't go build a landmark in the back here. You've got 2 landmarks, only a few units. You can't stop the drop. I don't know, dude. I'm a bit of an all-in player when it comes to stuff like that. Dude, tower drop would have been hella cool. Matrick, that's why I lose a lot of games that I shouldn't lose. Because I'm like, yeah, you know what would be sick? White tower dropping this guy. So, GUA gonna play it safe here, go for the 2TC. And honestly, if you're FILISBERTO, you might actually kind of end up behind on eco if you let this King's Palace go unpunished for too long. This is exactly what happened in their series in the upper bracket. Is FILISBERTO had GUA early, worse than this. He got water, he had great fishing, and then GUA just went 2TC and came back and won. So he's going to start making knights. That's why the stable's going down. It's actually... what would be diabolical if he just went Wingard Palace now. He's not going to do that, but that would be kind of diabolical. So King just being annoying. And I'm not sure... I'm not really sure, like, why this ram wasn't used. The ram's just on patrol, but I think if he had just pulled this back with the units earlier, before the age up, he probably could have done some damage here. GUA is going to go for relics. I'm gonna be honest, man, this is going to be a close game now. You let this 2TC go uncontested from English for a long time, and it can be trouble. It can be real trouble. It's also kind of an odd upgrade. So, a lot of eco upgrades from GUA, actually. He's got the second level of wood eco upgrade. I just call them all double broadaxe. Camel Archer is coming out from FILISBERTO. What's crazy is they have the same food economy right now. They have the same food economy, and FILISBERTO's got fishing ships. He needs extended lines. I always forget this when I am playing as Abba, or anyone, honestly, on Hybrid. But he needs extended lines. Because once this English farm economy starts cranking, like, you've got problems. If he's allowed to sit here and just go English farm economy, then things are not going to be good long term. Oh, I love this, dude. I love this play. Wall his ass in, FILISBERTO. It's a man after my own heart, but that wall. Longbow's coming out now. Not veteran longbows, though. Just baby longbows. The knights are what's going to really get you in this networks of castles with the increased attack speed. So everything within the English base is going to have 20% increased attack speed, which is going to be rough. FILISBERTO with the wall in. I love a good wall in. I'm not in here with you, you're in here with me. That's what FILISBERTO's saying right now. That knight might have something to say about it, though. So we still got, what, 1, 2, 3 relics on the map. GUA, 1 relic in already, 1 more on the way. FILISBERTO aging up with economic wing. I guess he's going to go Fertile Crescent. He doesn't have farms, though. Wonder if he's going to go for a second town center. Definitely has to get the relics on his side. This is almost definitely a second TC. FILISBERTO getting pushed back here, though. You know, if there's one thing GUA's really, really good at, it's just when he starts making units, the man does not stop. He will make units over anything else. upgrades, villagers. And yeah, he beats me with that, man. He just makes so many units. Once he gets that unit spam going, he's really good with it. He's going to try to get raids on this backside. He's already got a knight. I love GUA raids, man. GUA is a great raider. He's going to find this eventually. Horsemen, still feudal horsemen, though. Don't have their castle upgrades. So kind of the key I see moving forward in this game, since we're 2 TC against water, is this. So this is all your gold right here. All these big golds, what you need is you need a keep right here. And then you need another keep right here. If you're GUA, if you're FILISBERTO, like keep up here is really good. And then maybe just try to wall this one off. But if you can secure this middle area where all the gold is, you're going to be killing it. So, Berto going with some Gulams. GUA trying to push in the base, going to find a little kill out on the left here. Easy work for the longbows. Boot camp coming in, which is a really good upgrade for Abbasid, plus 15 health for all infantry. That's going to be crossbows, Gulams, spears, archers, hand cannoneers, anything you can name. Monk. Not going to have a good day there. Gulams, not going to be good against knights. Like, going to be bad against knights, but are going to be a good front line. Yeah, see? Exactly, Matrick. What if he was trebbing from the White Tower? Honestly, I still, in my heart of hearts, I think that would have worked, because this is a very small area, right? So all you need to do is you drop the White Tower right here. You palisade wall the back. You put a lumber camp down. You have a few guys on gold. Trebs are very wood heavy. You get a palisade at the front, and then you just, your units can't get to you. Trebs are by the White Tower. They can reach both these landmarks, and that's GG, dude. GG. Easy GG. I do think, actually, one of the biggest problems would be repairing the House of Wisdom doesn't cost wood, so. Camel archers getting called out. FILISBERTO, second TC up in the back, might be going for third, baby. If there's one thing I know about FILISBERTO, he's a greedy player. Here comes the keep, dude. This is exactly what you need here. I would put it up even farther. It's a huge keep, though. Huge secure on these 2 golds. You gotta have the gold secured in the middle. I would enjoy even another keep. Push from Berto on the side. GUA is going to say, yeah, you can push my base. I'm going to raid the shit out of you. But Berto has done a pretty good job. Again, what we talked about against GUA, you got to have walls. GUA, third town center from GUA. Give you more town centers. Frontline monastery, always a dangerous effort. Give you more town centers. Let's get a 4th one in here, GUA. So, haven't played GUA a lot myself. GUA is like a really resilient player. And so, if you get up on GUA in a game, you have to kill him. You cannot give GUA time to come back in games. Like, I've been up on him in games. He just makes town centers, makes more villagers, and then he beats you in the end. So, like, if you're up on GUA, you gotta kill him. You can't give him time to boom up with eco. He'll just throw down more town centers, more villagers, stay in the game. He's, like, really resilient. Hell yeah. 4 TC fast imp. Wingard's normally a better landmark, but, like, if he had gotten Berkshire, this would have been a 6 spot. But it would still be really good even, like, out here. You'd get this gold and this gold. So, big clash here. A lot of longbows. Longbow, crossbow, cav. against mostly infantry and it looks like siege. So you're going to have a really strong army with siege, but you're going to be slower. Houses for the people out here. I mean, people aren't going to move to your city unless you have houses. That's a no-brainer. No-brainer right there. GUA looks like he's scaling for him. I think GUA's got this game. That's crazy to say because FILISBERTO's over here eating all the fish out of the sea. But water does not beat 3 town center English. Oh yeah, second keep. I would go ahead and eat this gold. I like that second keep a lot by Berto though. By the infantry. Oh, and he's pushing. Yeah, he needs boiling oil pretty bad. I always forget that when I throw down a keep. I'm like, this keep will hold it, and it really won't. It really needs boiling oil. Oh, there it is. That's actually not a good spot for it. Very protective of the base, though, I will say. He's probably worried about this gold. He wants to get that gold. So it does do a good protection of the base, but he's got a really nice army. It'd be pretty sick if he was able to put it a bit farther out. Stone walls on this side, I actually like that a lot. Like, forget this side. Just throw up stone walls. Berto actually has mangonel skill with stone walls. I take that back. GUA now imp, though. And this is going to be hard for FILISBERTO to deal with. You really can't go into this Berkshire at all. Do you see the arrows coming out of this thing? This Berkshire is, it's getting pretty close to being fully automatic. The arrows coming out of that thing are insane. 14 bow times 20. Oh yeah, Berto. He's thinking about these sacred sites. That's what he's thinking about. Raids by GUA on the back. GUA is just covering. Dude, this is classic Berto play right here. Throw up 5 to 6 markets in the back and start trading. One time I was playing against Berto in a game, and he was way ahead of me and threw down like a bunch of markets. He was like 3 TC markets, and I just pulled all my villagers and burned his landmarks. Yeah, well, here's the bombard though. You know, it's kind of crazy to me because I feel like the game's not over, but I feel like FILISBERTO was in such a good position in feudal when he got the water on this map. And I feel like it's just been, like, very, very slowly slipping away from him, you know? But we're gonna see, he hasn't clicked up to imp. He's got food problems. He's got, like, really bad food problems. Which is kind of crazy with Abbasid. He needs this. Hey, he doesn't have horticulture. I'm nitpicking here. FILISBERTO's a great player. I'm not trying to nitpick him, but yeah, if you're having food problems, you got to get horticulture. You got to get this upgrade from the House of Wisdom. It's always easy to say while you're watching instead of playing what you need to do. GUA now has gold access. If FILISBERTO had been able to shut him out of gold. Oh, big raid on the backside by Gulams. Not known for their speed and stealth, but they are damn good at killing villagers. Villagers burning landmarks does feel really good, man. Definitely one of my favorite things. Oh! Villagers taking down the bombard. He did lose a few, but that was a good snipe, actually. He's getting the fishing upgrade. He has eaten most of this deep sea fish, so he needs to, like, go to shoreline for a while and eat all of it, and then go back to the deep sea. Thanks the move there. GUA got to keep out on the big gold. And looking in a pretty good spot. FILISBERTO walling off the sacred site and the trades, more likely why he's walling this off. Going trade wing. Why not, right? So trade wing's pretty good. You can get some really good upgrades for the traders. Yeah, he's going to need a little more to get that wall going. The traders aren't bringing in much gold, but you got to understand these camel traders are really fast. They're faster, I think they're as fast or faster than a Mangadai. So, there you have it. Dude, FILISBERTO up to 145 economy. So, he's going to try to get to Imp, buy all these upgrades, and then fight this thing out in Imp. The tough timing for him right now is going to be getting to Imp and surviving until you get all your Imp upgrades. Dude, how is this food economy not better? He's got a lot of farms and fishing. It's got to be the upgrades. He's got 45 guys on food and only 900 food a minute? Like something's going on. He's finally moved these guys to shoreline fish, which is really good. I almost wonder if the fish, if they weren't going out to deep sea fish, it would run out. They would come back and drop off like 50 food, and then they would go back out to it. Because that's really weird that he's got like no food. Both the keeps are down. Though I will say, FILISBERTO did a really good job. He already ate this AK gold. And a lot of this gold. Villagers are in a bit of trouble here. But he ate a lot of the gold in the middle of the map. So he's got the gold he needs for his upgrades. Right, GUA's got a cheat code for lowering food production. Nah, I'm kidding. Yeah, see, now his food skyrocketed up. There was something wrong with this. Oh, dude. This is not good. Ah! That's how Abbasid villagers die. Ah! I will say, though, I mean, FILISBERTO's still got 138 economy, so honestly, losing those guys, not really a big deal. Spearman raid. Channeling his Interfaith Chan with a Spearman raid. GUA just pushing on the base, though. Yeah, focus down that House of Wisdom, dude. Focus that baby down. He's going for landmarks. This is a landmark. He's going for a landmark win right now. Berto needs to pull villagers. He needs to pull villagers to repair this and bring his entire army up here. Like, villagers need to repair this ASAP. If this shit goes down, you are in trouble. And it is gonna go down. Yeah, here come the village. You can repair this without wood cost. Because it's the House of Wisdom, so you just need as many villagers as you can repairing that thing. Oh, where are you going? He actually got a good... Dude, FILISBERTO just cleared this farmland out with those spears. That was actually a really good raid. Raid on the backside from GUA as well. Bit of a slaughter on both sides from villager perspective. 72 kills for GUA, 42 for FILISBERTO. Just a scrappy game right now, man. I would just keep focusing that thing with the bombards. This is so much... There are 38 villagers not working because they're repairing a House of Wisdom right now. FILISBERTO kind of pushing him back, man. And GUA going into a lot of crossbows. And got all of his farms cleared out like I was talking about. There are some villagers back now, but FILISBERTO with a really good backstab here. Like, that was a great backstab. I don't know if GUA is making villagers out of this town center. Oh, King's Palace is down as well. I missed that. King's Palace is down. third town center is just not making villagers, and then this one is making some, but he was at 87 villagers at about 30 minutes. So let's keep track of that. I have died from this same GUA death push before, though. He gets 2 bombards, he spams units, and the bombards clear out all your infrastructure. So Berto needs to get ready to try to bring these suckers down somehow. Camels increase armor of nearby infantry. That'll be really good if that comes in time. Yeah, pull the trade caravans too, man. Raids by GUA. Always more raids by GUA. Berto going out to try to contest. It's kind of like a crossbow on crossbow fest right now. So big fight happening in the middle. Bombards bringing down more infrastructure. Raids on this town center. You can actually see the town center HP going down while we watch the battle. I think the town center on the backside is going down. I think FILISBERTO is going to win this fight. TC does go down, but, you know, there's another 1 and 4 markets, so it's not the end of the world. FILISBERTO pushing him back. GUA beginning to go into horsemen. He sees just the archer blob. And FILISBERTO does have composite bow for the archers, though, but does not have incendiary arrows. Dude, these horsemen are causing Berto real problems on the backside. GUA up to 101 eco kills. These things are still got him pretty bad. He did push back the game-ending push, so I mean that was big. That House of Wisdom looked like it was in trouble for a while. Berto probably doesn't play Abbasid a lot, but improved processing is like a must-have at this point in the game. GUA with some GUA farms out here. What's hilarious about these farms is Berto's trying to throw down a mining camp where one of GUA's farms are going. He's like, yeah, man, you can't mine here. Actually, I got some farms set up. So, killed some villagers on the wood line. And I feel like we're kind of back to the drawing board here. I will say, FILISBERTO's up 40 economy still. So, obviously, late game, that's pretty big. If you're kind of looking for a war of attrition gameplay, you can go bigger economy and just spam units into the guy and try to wear down his ego. See how these gold mines are doing. So, big gold mines. Still a lot of gold on the map. No boiling oil for GUA, so there's not really a lot of torch damage here either, though. GUA going for the stone. Surprised you. This looks like less fishing ships than there used to be. Culverin coming out for FILISBERTO. And incendiary arrows. Incendiary arrows is going to be a really, really important upgrade here. The Abbasid archers, arguably the best archers in the game with that composite bow upgrade. So once you get the incendiary ammos, they're going to kill units really fast, and they damage buildings better. That Spearman raid and little ram push did a lot of damage back here. Still hasn't rebuilt King's Palace. As a guy who's always looking for an angle to landmark snipe, not having your King's Palace up here, actually a pretty big deal. So Culverin here working down some of the keeps. GUA with the villager party over here on the gold and mining camp. I like how Berto, it probably wouldn't let him place a mining camp where this farm was. He's like, alright, I'll place another one. Little does he know there's a GUA villager party out here. Oh, dude, he's like, what do I even do with that? Let's check upgrades at this point in the game. So, no tithe barns yet, but working on it. Finally got his economic upgrades for food. Very important. GUA with another raid. GUA raid here. Classic GUA raid. Oh, and pushing it on the other side, trying to stop this trade. So going with a little bit of a split push. Elite Gulam coming in for Berto, Silk Bowstrings, and Elite Army Tactics. GUA looking pretty good on most of the upgrades, except for the last wood upgrade. So a bit of craziness happening all over the map, honestly. GUA trying to shut down this trade. And he's going to kill the markets. Seems like almost definitely. Berto trying to do a little attack on the bottom. And we've just got a crazy scrappy game at this point, which I expected between these two guys. Berto did break this little GUA villager party out here. GUA is still at 87 villagers. You know, probably made some, had some killed, but he's been around that 90 mark for the last 7 minutes here. I like the push into the markets, you know, oh, yeah. That's big to just idle the trade out like that. Berto's still on water. He's got to start just putting 3 guys on these deep sea fish. Three fishing boats on deep sea fish, brother. Then you put the rest on shore. And it'll regenerate if you just got 3. See, they pick up 50 food. Then they move to the next one. GUA raid. GUA raid. Yeah, villager party. Dude, that's what they were doing over there, man. They were just hanging out. GUA being super annoying with these elite horsemen and non-elite knights, castawage knights. They didn't really have gold though, so I actually really like. So this is a composition I like a lot, and it's very cost effective. Is you go elite horsemen with hand cannoneer. Like, you don't do elite men-at-arms or elite knights or whatever because they're going to use a lot of gold. You just go elite horseman, hand cannoneer. Very strong in the late game. You can also mix in some elite spears if you want. So GUA is trying to reclaim some gold here. He knows he's low on gold. He knows how important this gold on the map is. He also knows Berto's been trading. So he's trying to break this trade. It's funny, if you're a Byzantine, you could get a mercenary war offense on this map. I'm getting tired just watching this game. There's a lot of action. More raids from GUA. These bombards are really lightly defended to the thing. Oh, buddy. This might be a big push. If you're rolling up with 5 mangonels, you're looking for a big push here. Wonder if he's going to bring the bombards around for this death push. So the thing that's always interesting to think about is if you have less economy, you can actually have a bigger army at this point in the game. Especially as English, your food economy is great. So GUA making some knights here, but remember, these knights are not elite knights. They look like they actually have biology, but they're not elite. Oh, a keep here might be the game. He just has to defend right here, get bombards, and bring these landmarks down. Yeah, man, Mattrick, a lot has happened in this game. So hand cannoneers are going to absolutely torch these guys. There are adjustable crossbars on the Mango, so they're going to do a ton of damage. And this could be rough for Berto here. He's running low on food. He's actually re-queued the Elite Gulam upgrade. The hand cannoneer is going to do really well here as long as they have a front line. So he's trying to focus the hand cannoneers down with the archers. The keep is coming up. You know, hopefully he's got some more villagers that are going to build this. He does. He pulls some, then he's going to get stone afterwards to push still. He's got knights pushing into the base. He's got bombards pushing him from the bottom. He's probably going to retarget some producers here. If he can, dude, he needs these bombards up here. Berto's still with the water. And 147 eco. 147 eco. So, I mean, if Berto can just hang on, it feels like in a war of attrition that he can win this, right? Because he's got more eco. He's just got to bleed GUA dry, but GUA's kicking his butt in destroyed value. 64,000 to 49,000, and part of that is when you have more eco, you have a smaller army, and so, you know, having a bigger army exponentially is kind of increasing the size of the army that you can kill. So if you're constantly going into a smaller army against bigger, it's taking really bad trades. GUA raid on Woodline, GUA raid in Farmland. That's another 15 villagers probably. Culverin working on this keep, but almost definitely going to get sniped here. There's nothing to defend it. Big fight in the Farmland. This is where you have a lot of problem against late game hand cannoneers. And I think Berto should be making hand cannoneers. Like, you get serpentine powder, you make hand cannoneers. You can go hand cannoneer spearmen, you can go hand cannoneer horsemen. Don't matter to me, but you need hand cannoneers at this point in the game, not crossbows. So, Culverin. Two of them down. Last one is saved. Now, where are these bombards? Still at the bottom. Another raid by GUA, dude. Another raid by GUA. I just don't think you can win a game with 200 villager deaths. And I played a game against Myriad where he beat me and I killed like 150 of his villagers. But, I don't know, man. GUA's just killed, so I don't think you can win a game if you've lost 200 economic units. But GUA just... he's finally breaking the bottom of the base with bombards. I take it back. He's finally breaking the bottom of the base. And Berto just needs units, bro. He probably needs spearmen instead of Gulam against this horseman mass. Spearman hand cannoneer, man. I don't really think the crossbows, you know, he's playing hard right now. He's got a lot going on. I'm not dissing him. But I don't think the crossbows are super effective right now against this mass horseman. In a game, I just thought FILISBERTO was going to win because he got the water. Oh, keep on the trade. Gulam's getting a running start down that stone wall. House of Wisdom under fire again. The keep did go down up here, but huge night raids in the back. GUA taking the crossbows out with the horsemen. I think GUA's got it, man. I think I'm almost ready to call this one. Both the sacred sites up. These knights are not elite knights. These, I mean, to be honest though, it's not even the knights that have been doing the work. The elite horsemen from GUA have been doing absolute work, man. He's been destroying Berto with some of these raids. But Berto survives for now. He is alive. A lot of the base is dead. There's a keep up to stop the trade. He didn't even... I don't think he has too many traders left, though, so... GUA gonna try to wall him out, I think. And GUA is just the master of the split push here. Nice little hit by Berto on the wood. Again, both these players are better than me, but there's some situations like, why do you have villagers chopping wood here? Just go to the back. They probably built the keep and just went here earlier. Maybe he forgot about them, but yeah, GUA is really good with this bombard push. Let's see what Berto's got for a final fight. He's capped out, man, but GUA spent all of his food too. And these guys almost equal in eco now after GUA's killed 262 economic units. I mean, that's insane, bro. Oh, he does have boiling oil. It's gonna hurt a lot of these units pretty bad if it gets a shot off. Yeah, that was not great, but it is going to go down, which is big. Definitely needed that to go down. Horsemen are going to try to wrap around on the crossbows. Once these hand cannoneers get in, that's when you're in trouble, dude. He's got serpentine powder. These hand cannoneers are just going to delete. And he's putting some of them on the wall, which is actually pretty smart. They are kind of running to their deaths. And the game gets called. Game gets called by FILISBERTO. That was the final push there. And GUA ties the series up 1-1 with a win with English on Golden Heights. An English Abbasid dynasty game on Golden Heights. GG's to both the players. I thought both players played well. You know, when watching the games, you always have to keep in mind there's so many things happening at the same time when you're playing these games. You're multitasking so much. These are really good players, top 1% of players in the game. And good series. You know, both guys had some mistakes. Both guys had some good plays, but GUA able to pull it out. So obviously GUA's approach to King's Palace worked for him long term. I'm still liking the White Tower drop on FILISBERTO's base for a bit of a meme strat. But you can see the economy, even though FILISBERTO had water, GUA just drops the King's Palace. This is what English is so good at. That English can go Castle Age and Second Town Center at the same time. So it doesn't slow them down that much. You drop King's Palace. It's a really, really good play to drop King's Palace. You're in Castle. You can make knights. You've got the Second Town Center going. You can start grabbing relics. And he just keeps up with Berto on economy. And FILISBERTO does... He's a bit of a greedy player. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just he loves his economy. So he caps out hard here, which was not necessarily bad, but your army's going to be smaller if your economy's that high. Normally you want to be a little lower. And I honestly think GUA's unit composition was just better at the end. I'm not even sure that FILISBERTO was playing, bad per se. It's just GUA was getting good raids and had a better unit comp. He had horseman hand cannoneer against like Gulam crossbow. And the horsemen are just going to front while the hand cannoneers shred your units. So, yeah, we see that in the KD. That's kind of what I expected. I've learned a lot from playing some free for alls, and it's that hand cannoneers with serpentine power are going to shred your entire army. All right, guys. 60-second break for casting here. Need a quick break, quick water break. And then I'll come right back and we'll get after it for game 3. All right, Conquerors, I am back. We've got a 1-1 series here. We'll jump into game 3 in a second. Yeah, Jade, that was a crazy game, man. You know, I think part of the reason the English economy is crazy late game, right? Like, they're super vulnerable for so much of the game, but that late game economy is crazy. I do feel like a big part of what was hurting FILISBERTO for a long time was FILISBERTO didn't have his food upgrades as Abbasid. So, like, there's multiple economic technologies in the House of Wisdom, and I'm not an Abba player, so I don't think he is either. So you're just not super familiar with them when you're playing, you know? And yeah, like he didn't have horticulture like any of the basic ones for a long time. Then he didn't have the plus 15% from House of Wisdom. Then he didn't have the plus 8% for all resources from the House of Wisdom. I'm not sure he ever got that. So resource gathered is like neck and neck this entire game. It's just give you anxiety. GUA's just taking better trades. Like you said, he was more, like you said, JD's just more pop efficient. Like the hand cannoneer horseman was just a better comp. And if you get that network of, I can never remember if it's network of citadels or network of castles. I know there's an upgrade for it too for English with that attack speed. I mean, that's a crazy good upgrade. Alright. Let's see what we've got going on for Game 3, man. What a series so far. 1-1. I'm glad this is a best of 5, because this would be a long cast for a best of 7. With these two guys playing like this. What's up, Congers? We've got Game 3 in a best of 5 series here for GUA's USA Cup. Give you anxiety against FILISBERTO. Playing on EGC Kawasan. In yellow, we've got FILISBERTO playing with the Ayyubid. And in teal, we've got Give You Anxiety playing with the Holy Roman Empire. I would not be surprised if we see a dock drop by both players. I am going to speed up a little bit just to try to catch up with the live recording here. So we'll speed up at least through the first 5 minutes. So both players going for a dock drop on separate pawns. And Berto going for the early age up for Ayyubid, almost definitely. Which means, for Give You Anxiety, so one thing Ayyubid's really good at on these hybrid maps is if you're on the same water as another player, you can go with the fast age up wing and then just make a galley, or you can do springboard. You can really make any ship and you're going to kick your guy's ass because you've just got ships faster than they do. So I think he's going to scout this. He actually has not. This is really interesting by FILISBERTO. He has not made a fishing ship. Because what his plan is not to fish early. And I'm really interested to see if he drops a dock on this pond now that he sees that GUA's over there. Like, does he go into fishing ships on this pond now? Or does he come over here and dock drop and shut this down? So he's already got the age up in. So GUA is not even gathering gold right now. So like GUA is minutes and minutes away from a feudal age up. And Berto's going to be there in 60 seconds. Yeah, dude, here it comes. And I literally just played against FILISBERTO on this map with him playing Ayyubid. So I was familiar with this strategy prior to playing him, but obviously having just played against him, I'm even more familiar. He's gonna get this dock up. Oh, dude, this is a diabolical dock right now, because normally one of the problems when you're trying to trade ship to ship is that your dock's over here, so your healing radius for your dock's here. His is here, so the attacker, doesn't have the advantage the defender does. But if your dock is right beside his dock, your boats will heal literally right here while you're killing his dock. Aachen Chapel coming up for GUA. Very standard. I mean, he's going to lose water. He's going to lose water. Like, a ship should ideally... FILISBERTO doesn't quite have enough to get the dock or the ship out, probably because he had to build a second dock. Oh, he's going on stone early too. Oh, he's getting arrow slits. He's getting naval arrow slits. That's his plan. So he drops his dock right beside his opponent's dock. He goes naval arrow slits. I'm interested to see how this works. I wonder if it's... I maybe would have gone ship instead of arrow slits. I don't know, though. We'll just have to see how it works. GUA is like, you want to drop my dock? You want to drop my dock, bro? Guess what? Dock drop. Did he re-queue this? It's interesting, though, because GUA does... He's got an economy out of these two fishing ships already, right? So, I always kind of think about it myself as, like, it's not the end of the world. I've already gotten some economy out of this. But, ooh. Dude, if that villager had gone down... Well, I was going to say if that villager had gone down, that would have been a really good pick. And then he proceeded to die and sink into the marshlands. So, it is nice GUA is going to have ships out. But, dude, Berto's in a really good spot right now. This arrow slits has 11 tiles of range. GUA can't even fish here. What you want to do here, since you have the Dow... You get a little damage on the sprinkled ship, then you hit it with the demo. But this is where the water battle is really going to kick off here. So we can see GUA his economy is better right now because of the chapel. So he might be able to take this water fight on this pond. But you really want to... Yeah, and the galley's going for the explosive. So you gotta try to get... Ooh, good snipe there on the explosive junk. Explosive Dow in this scenario. You want the springald to bring down the galley. And GUA is in a good spot here, dude. GUA has most likely won this water. That's just good micro by GUA right there. Really good gameplay. And I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't even build another ship here. I would just leave these ships, and I'd start making my ships on this pond. He's going to bring down the... Yeah, that's a bad loss. That was a pretty good explosive ship. But this dock is still lost, I think. I would not build a sprinkled ship here. Because once you get behind boats on water, it's really difficult. Like, that first snipe on the explosive ship was big by GUA. Once this dock's burning, which it's going to be, it's going to be tough. A little scout-on-scout warfare out here. This dock's definitely going down. So let's see where we're at. FILISBERTO. Pretty normal macro here. GUA now getting naval arrow slits himself. GUA pretty much his entire economy under the chapel, though it won't actually let me double click the sheep here. Probably gonna eat through those sheep pretty... Ooh, nice desert raider though. He's gonna have to rush this outpost. Prelate there to heal up though. Desert Raider does enough damage, it's kind of hard to out-heal it, so you're going to have to micro some vills. Prelate is within TC range, though, so... GUA, man, playing this really well. He's like, you wanna do this naval arrow slits shenanigans? Guess what? Naval arrow slits. I love it, man. I love it. So GUA has one dock. He's got, or one pond. He's got this pond. You put these galleys on patrol route, as he just did, and, like, that shit's secure. He's going to bring this down, most likely. Actually, the fishing boat's getting some healing. That might not die. And Berto's dropped the second dock. So Berto's, they're each going to get a pond here. His scout's dead for GUA. He's probably already scouted the map, though. Another explosive ship out. But again, so one thing I don't like doing, I don't know whether this is right or wrong. You know, these guys are good players. Everybody's got their own perspective on things. I don't like making ships or investing into a pond that I've lost. I just don't like it. Burgrave Palace coming in for GUA, dude. I love it. I love it. FILISBERTO's got nothing to kill Castle Age men-at-arms. These Desert Raiders can kite a bit, kind of like camel archers. But at the end of the day, it's still just 7 bow damage, right? So This is kind of a kill or be killed play by GUA. This isn't all in. You make a Burgrave Palace, you're going all in. I'm a little worried about where GUA is going to get food here. He would really want to go get this deer. Hopefully he can scale some more fishing ships up so he can pump men-at-arms, but he doesn't have enough food economy to pump the men-at-arms. But, I mean, the key thing is here, you got to get your ranged armor upgrades, you get your Castle Age men-at-arms, you build, then you commit and you kill this guy. So he is doing both of those. He doesn't have much food. Dude, just send... Yeah, I think he's just got to go for the deer, man. You got to go for the deer. No, GUA. The men-at-arms are out, but he just doesn't have enough food economy. Now he's going for the deer. So sometimes... Oh, FILISBERTO playing this perfectly, dude. FILISBERTO playing this to a T. This is exactly what I advise people do when they scout the Burgrave coming out. You build a palisade wall around your base, and GUA's like, oh, I went Burgrave. I'm about to kick this guy's ass. Men-at-arms show up. There's a palisade. They start burning it. You repair it with villagers. So FILISBERTO playing this absolutely perfectly right now. What he's going to do, he palisades the entire base. He repairs the walls when the men-at-arms show up. And he's got to focus. All resources are going to repairs and age up right now. I would cancel that Desert Raider because you have got to age up. You do not need Desert Raiders. You got to age up and get crossbows. Oh, yeah. GUA sees it, though. And now GUA's got to get siege engineering to get a ram up to get through this wall. Or this Burgrave is rough. This is why going Burgrave is really hard. And often why Burgrave was probably not GUA's first choice, which is why I went Aachen. But most of the time, if I'm going to go Burgrave, I always go Minework. Like, even if it's a possibility, I go Minework because I don't have to spend the 150 on the blacksmith. I can get both the range upgrades and siege engineering for cheap. Really nice tower and relic here, though. GUA does... It's kind of interesting, right? Because if GUA went Regnants, FILISBERTO could just spam Desert Raiders and probably control him from getting any relics on the map. With Burgrave, he should be making more units, and he should be able to secure these relics, but like... But the units are not coming out, I guess, is the problem. I was pretty hyped for that Burgrave, but he's only made 4 men-at-arms. Which is, sad. The other thing he could have done in this time frame, and still could do, if he just got siege engineering, he could bring down these docks. He's getting archers to deal with the Desert Raiders, which is good. But once in 90 seconds when FILISBERTO is aged up, then GUA is going to be in trouble. I was trying to say that as nice as I could. So he's got to make some sort of plan here. And he just says, you don't have enough ships, dude. I'm just literally going to burn the dock. You can't even... I don't even need to make a ram. So I like this play. He's got to make something happen with these men-at-arms. So burn this one, go to the next one, cut off all the food income from Berto, and then maybe you can push on this base, man. I mean, you got to push on the base. It's not really an option, because if you've gone Burgrave, you need to push. I do really like that he's picking up the relics. So really good play by him there. Sprinkled chips doing some damage. But it's nice, you know, at least you're getting some relics in, and you're getting a lot of eco for that. Desert Raider on the backside. Desert Raider doing some raiding on the raiding side of the map. About to have more of these Desert Raiders coming in as well. This is why Ayyubid has been a good hybrid civ for quite a long time. You would see, after the top tier hybrid civs were out, a lot of the time you would see like an Ayyubid Juji matchup or something like that. Yeah, you need a ram, brother. You need a ram, dude. One ram would have ended this entire food economy for Berto. And, I mean, GUA's got the wood. He's got the wood. I do like the archers because, you know, he's got to deal with the desert raiders, right? So, like, that made a lot of sense. He might just be going Swabia. Like, he's not spending food. He's bringing in the relics. He's going to have 4 relics. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see what he does. Maybe if he sees how many guys Berto's making, he remaxes units. Maybe he goes, maybe he goes hard into a Swabia here. Testing the mic. Make sure everybody can still hear me. Had my headset kind of disconnect there for a second. So, now GUA pushing on the base. But I think it's a bit late. If he is going Swabia, though, this can also buy you some time. And it can, you know, something I like doing a lot of the time when I am aging up, like apply pressure, but try not to lose units. So I'll go out here and I'll apply some pressure to the base, like pretending I'm making a lot of units, pretending I'm going into the base, things like that. And then I age up behind it, and it kind of looks like that's, you know, what we're seeing here. So Berto's starting to get some of his upgrades. No eco upgrades yet, but he'll pick those bad boys up soon enough. And Swabia coming down in the back. Which I think is the right play here, because the Burgrave didn't work for him. So I think Swabia is definitely the right play. He's really close to finding these villagers, actually. Both guys kind of chilling on their ponds. So 12 fishing ships for GUA. Probably, what, 14 for FILISBERTO. Desert Raiders getting taken out. GUA doing the GUA raids thing, man. Doing a good job. He shift clicks units, but he also puts guys on patrol routes, which I like. So we're at 62 villagers at 18 minutes in the game. So let's see how fast this thing cranks them out. A villager for 17 food every 7 seconds is going to come out. You know what's really funny? You actually spend more food per 20 seconds on villagers with the Swabia, but you literally make 3 villagers. It's pretty funny. So what you see a lot of the time with the Swabia, which he's doing here, he's just rallying dudes out to wood. He's going to collect a shitload of wood. He'll move guys from wood to build farms once he starts, you know, running out of food, which I think he is kind of running out of food. Putting up a housing village for the guys coming out of the Swabia. Yeah, it is crazy, man. It is crazy. Every minute, you're making 9 villagers out of this thing, essentially. Like, a little bit of rounding there, but you're making 9 villagers every minute out of the Swabia. So it's always hard to play against HRE if they've got the Swabia. Like, you know you're on a timer and need to push. FILISBERTO probably knows, like, I need to push and kill this guy. Yeah, already more eco, man. Already more eco. And if you kill, I mean, you could kill, like, 50 villagers. He's just going to remake them. You kill 45 villagers, it'll take him 5 minutes to remake all of those. He's trying to be a little aggressive here to stop any potential push by FILISBERTO. Nice little shot by the galley, actually. Oh. Crossbows had enough of that shit. FILISBERTO with the ram on the side. Farms going around down, dude, and I'm gonna tell you something. When these mansion, ooh, nice raid by GUA too, though. GUA and his raids, man. You can never count GUA out. When these, if FILISBERTO can keep these Manjaniques alive, they are going to absolutely destroy these farms. I love seeing Manjaniques hit farms. And, I mean, FILISBERTO's got to make a decisive push here. Nice little raid by FILISBERTO on the villas. Of course, those are going to get remade pretty fast. I mean, yeah, he's 20 economy ahead of FILISBERTO now, and it's been, what, 3 minutes? 3.5 minutes? Two-handed weapons coming in for HRE. Trying to raid with it. He's actually pulling GUA's army pretty far out of position here. I think if FILISBERTO went right now, a lot of GUA's troops are like really far off on this right side. That's like the weakness of this split push that I use a lot and GUA also uses, is your army gets really out of position to a mid push. So this is gonna be dangerous. If FILISBERTO can get in here and fire shot this, he's gonna destroy these buildings. So E-repair is already going down on the tower here. But that is not going to survive the death push from the Manjaniques. It can only hold on for so long here. Springald's actually getting some good hits on some military units out here. And GUA, this is... If he can survive this push, he's basically going to win the game because of the Swabia. But it's going to be really hard to survive these fire mangonels. Dude, fire mangoes, yeah, it legit looks like fireworks. So, crazy push coming in here. FILISBERTO is just making more and more siege. Springald Tower actually hitting this mango, but you can see, I mean, all the farms are getting annihilated, and look at this scorched earth, dude. A farm will never be able to grow there again. This land has been tainted by the fire mangonel. So, looks like GUA's kind of trying to muster up as much as you can, but having played with these and against them, it's just so hard to close on these mangonels. And GUA doesn't have any horse... Oh, I say that he's building horsemen in the back now. Looks like he threw down some stables. He needs a lot of horsemen to try to deal with this siege ball. There's actually really lack of spears by FILISBERTO, so if GUA could somehow get, like, I don't know, 20 horsemen up. But a lot of Springalds. Ooh! A lot of Springalds. He's going to be in danger of losing all his landmarks here. And FILISBERTO just piling on the siege, man. He's like, I'll take some more siege where that came from. Chapel definitely going down. I'm not really sure where the archers are going. Maybe trying to fend off these desert raiders, but just throw some, like 5 archers back there or something. We're still tilling the land out here. Tilling the burned land. Dude, this is a good employee right here. This is a really good employee. She's like, yes, yes, Lord GUA, I will continue to gather from the farm. So we got a big engagement here. Fire Mango's getting shots off. Springald's going to come in, going to get shots on the men-at-arms. Archers up top, a bit spread out from the army. GUA committing to the fight, but so much siege. Springald's working down men-at-arms. Archers trying to pick the Springalds off. Men-at-arms are crushing through the front line, and now the back line of FILISBERTO. Siege is going to be in danger here. And the Mangos are now on the front line. Relic picked up. Bull is going to be coming in soon. Horsemen going on to the Mangonels. If he can even pick off a few of these Mangonels, that's going to be really big. Multiple Mangonels going down. Biology coming in for the Horsemen. Right, he did this last game too. He got Biology before he got Elite. Just get the Elite upgrade. I feel like that's not intentional. I feel like he probably just, in the heat of the moment, there's so many things going on, that's what happened. So they're back to kind of even eco, though. Back to even eco here. And FILISBERTO going to make some more siege. FILISBERTO is going into Spearman, which is going to be really, really important as GUA scales these horsemen. But that took a real toll on GUA's economy. And he's building cannon outposts, but I mean, I think the fire mangonels will just bring the cannon outposts down. Like, I could definitely be wrong. I don't know the range on the cannons. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was very behind or on eco for a very short period of time because Swabia catches you right up. Yeah, when I get Swabia, I literally just stop making them out of my main town center. I just build villagers out of Swabia. The cannon actually has, with the relic, more range than the mangonel. Phyllis Ramo. This is a wild game, dude. Like I said, GUA, resilient player, not going to give up. Going for a horseman raid on the backside to try to pick off reinforcements. And, dude, Kawasan has so many berries in the middle. Dear God. Look at all these berries that FILISBERTO is getting. Main town center goes down. Burgrave's in trouble. And, dude, it is going to be the final defense of the Swabia, I think. Massive farm transition going off in the back for GUA. I mean, Berto doesn't even have to farm transition because there's 5 more berry patches out here. Each one of these for him is 350 food. And good gather rate on those berries with Ayyubid. Yeah, these cannon towers can hit the Manjaniques, but obviously the Rams are going to be a problem. So it's actually a pretty nice play with the cannon towers there to push them back. Cannon towers super hard to push into. And normally people get cannon towers up at the beginning of the age up with HRE and you just make a bunch of Rams and bring them down, but yeah, really good range when they have the relics in them. They are teeing off on these Manjaniques. I think units are still in range out here too. And it's kind of similar to what we saw last game where GUA is just trading really well. Like, GUA's destroyed value is really good. compared to FILISBERTO, and he's just getting pulled into these cannon towers because of the crazy range, which is unfortunate, but units are just getting popped by these cannon towers, man. And GUA is like, yes, yes, more cannon towers. It's gonna get called out here. Oh, yeah, yeah. I think FILISBERTO's making the right decision, which is just, I'm just gonna go around this shit. Like, forget this. I'm just gonna go into the back of your base. I don't need to fight these cannon towers. GUA, FILISBERTO, economy-wise, you know, surprisingly looking kind of similar. I think it's because GUA has 4 relics. With, no regnants, but still 4 relics is 4 relics. I wonder if he ever got tithe barns. It's kind of hard to tell. Well, I don't think he does, because he's only getting 79 gold off the relics, actually. Building more outposts out here. And so what's the play by FILISBERTO now, you know? FILISBERTO scorched earth this entire base, brought down 3 landmarks, ran into the HRE cannon tower relics, and kind of said, yeah, it wasn't working very well. I'm just going to age up. FILISBERTO beat me with sacred sites on this map. It was also a 40-minute game. So I wonder if that's what he's starting to wall up. I'm interested to see if that's what he starts going for here. Like, alright, GUA, you can sit in your base, but I'm going to sacred site. But the more time you give that Swabia to come back, it will punish you. It's got elite horsemen now. So GUA going to do some nasty raids with these elite horsemen, most likely. Eco Wing coming in for Philis. That's got to give a crazy amount of resources. Dude, upon completion, awards 2,000 wood, 1,000 stone, and villagers build 50% faster. Like Chinese-style villagers. I mean, GUA is kind of making freaking plays here right now, though. He needs to repair his landmarks. But he's got a lot of the upgrades. Like, he's missing some of the basics, blacksmith stuff, and the eco upgrades, unfortunately. He'd be doing a lot better with those. But he's got a lot of the big elite upgrades. Like, he's got biology. Oh. Yeah, it's hard to push into this. Very hard to push into this. I think if he just keeps the fire mangonels here, but GUA going for, oh, he's going to kill the dock. Right? Or is he just killing vills? Or both. So, new age begins for FILISBERTO, who's immediately going for elite spears and elite crossbows. Which we kind of saw last game with the elite crossbows. Where I'm thinking at this point, skip elite crossbows, make hand cannoneers. Right? GUA? Excuse me. GUA gonna go for a raid here. Bit of a fight up front. Fire Mango's coming in probably for a pretty devastating shot. Oh, man. Oh, dude. These guys are getting absolutely torched. Yeah, that was disgusting. That was disgusting. GUA gonna try to raid this left side. Berto, yep. Yep. Gonna start keeping the sacred sites. Yep. Not surprising. He's got a lot of his economy in this back right pocket, kind of spread out. A lot of villagers killed by FILISBERTO in this one. So trying to spam spears. Obviously spears are going to trade really well against the horsemen. GUA just trying to do a lot of raid damage with the horsemen. GUA does not see this occurring though, which is a build up around the sacred site and boiling oil. So Berto's, he's getting his preparation in here. If he can get this sacred site secured, you know, he goes ahead, he secures the second one, and then, you know, keeps him busy in the middle. He'll be in pretty good shape, I think. Oh! FILISBERTO made a cannon ship. I was not paying attention when FILISBERTO cleared out GUA's entire fishing economy, but he did. GUA going for just classic men-at-arm horseman push. It is too bad he doesn't have the mine work because he could get the extra damage for the horsemen. Sacred side victory now on the timer, and so the mistake players always fall into, including myself on this very map. Little raid in the back, little GUA raid. Yeah, he's going to decap this, which he's got to, dude. As soon as that timer starts, you have got to go decap these things. Like, you think at 9 minutes and 20 seconds, you're like, oh, I got plenty of time to decap this sacred site timer. And then you go and there's a freaking keep there, and you're like, well, shit. And then there's stone walls there, and then more keeps. He looks like he's going for the decap, which is smart. He's clearly worried about a sacred side victory from Berto, which makes sense. He's going to decap this. Berto will recapture it, I'm sure, though. Some of these ego upgrades for these two players finally coming in. You know, late in the game to be getting some of them, but better late than never. So you definitely want to get these ego upgrades in. Incendiary Arrow is going to come in for the crossbows, which is going to be big. Raid down here by Berto on the villagers. I mean, Berto's killed so many villagers, but GUA's got the Swabia, so GUA's not even moving these guys. It's just like, we'll remake them. We've got the Swabia. These employees, man, when they gotta revisit their contract. I don't know if I would sign an employee contract that continue to mine gold mine until death. Yeah, you might just want to throw like a siege workshop here. Get rams on this. Exactly. He don't care. He don't care. We'll print more of these villagers out, man. We got a cloning vat at the back of our base. GUA kind of has broken this middle position from FILISBERTO. And like I said, GUA he's just a really resilient player, man. There are times in games he gets really behind. He continues to play hard, continues to make units. And he stays in games, and he wins games that you think he should have lost. I mean, look at this. These are just baby raids, but these take a toll on you, man. These take a toll on your economy account if you're FILISBERTO. They also take a toll on your mental status of just like the 150th GUA raid that hits your wood line. You're just like, dude, are you effing kidding me? Like, at some point it gets to you. More raids. Dude, more raids from the bottom side. Still breaking the position in the middle. Do these horsemen have killed 20 villagers? Yeah, more raids from men-at-arms in the base. FILISBERTO are going to be able to handle it. But this mid-push is the biggest issue, right? Basically, GUA's like been hitting the sides, been keeping FILISBERTO busy, and then he's just going to come with a death push, I think, in the middle. FILISBERTO does have a ton of crossbows. Elite Knights coming in for GUA, looking at a knight transition here. Sacred Sites are back up from Berto. Trying to wall this in. GUA also trying to throw a keep here. That's not going to go well once those villagers get there. He's going to find out real fast that... Ow. That is painful. That's what happens when there's so much going on in the game. You're getting so many alert signals all over the map that you don't even see this, and then all your villagers died. And then villagers burn down your keep. That's a sad day, man. Yeah, I'm not sure if... I kind of thought he was going to push this this mid. Like, continue to push into the base. But these two guys, you know, they're evenly matched players. They really are. And so sometimes it can be hard to make the advantage happen. Second keep going down on this sacred side. GUA's army is coming, though. So he's going to have to get this thing up fast. One villager would take 3 minutes, so this one's going up, though. You got 23 villagers on that bad boy. Army is moving, but classic GUA. Move the whole army. Opponent pulls his army, you're like, yeah, I'll send some guys straight up the middle in your economy. This is not going to work, though. You can't take this keep. Not enough torch damage. Ooh, Culverin is out. GUA is still trying to be annoying in the middle here. Everything, you know, landmarks rebuilt. Burgrave, Chapel, Town Center. Base is actually looking good again for GUA. You know, there was a sad period of time. I never thought anything would be built here again. So, potentially a big fight here in the middle. GUA gonna come up, drop a fort, or keep. I always think about them as forts. Basically the same thing. Big fire mango shots. Crossbow's trying to get in here. Probably trying to snipe the Culverin out. This is actually a really good fight for GUA, I think. There's a lot of hand cannoneers, a lot of horsemen frontlining if the horsemen can break through and get here, but there are still 2 keeps up for FILISBERTO in the back. FILISBERTO is getting a unique technology which allows siege units to gain melee armor and fire armor for 10 seconds if he pops it. And, dude, look at all the dead horsemen. Those poor horses. Those poor horses, man. Yeah, GUA trying to rush up a keep. FILISBERTO coming in to shut it down. GUA defending this really well. I mean, this is like a death fight over this sacred site, man. These two guys decided forget the rest of the map. We're taking the sacred site. Sacred site timer down to 5 minutes right now. Culverins are going to push through this keep. FILISBERTO looking a little low on the unit count right now. I think GUA is probably taking this back. It would actually be interesting if he got some Jebeks cannon ships out here. Siege workshops under fire. Culverin gonna try to. I don't know if the Culverin can take 3 Culverin though. That is a really cool, unique technology he got. He's trying to go back into Manganiques. It's gonna be tough with the enemy Culverin out here, and I think GUA is gonna decap this sacred site. GUA's economy is looking a lot stronger right now if you look at the total res per minute. So, you know, total res per minute is probably 3,800 for GUA. Probably a little under 3,000 for FILISBERTO. So FILISBERTO hurting there on the total res per minute. And GUA is going to get the decap on the sacred side. GUA decided, fuck your fishing boat. He brought those fishing boats right down. So this is kind of a death push from GUA right now. I'm not 100% sure what FILISBERTO is going to do to stop this. He's really hurting in the food economy right now. He's down to 600 food a minute, and these docks are going to go down. GUA is eating up a ton of gold on the map. He broke this middle base. He's now stopped the sacred site timer. That was probably FILISBERTO's win condition there. It was down to 5 minutes. Once this dock goes down, no fishing economy for FILISBERTO. A lot of his economy's back in this corner. He's going to try to get off a nasty shot with the mangonels from the side, which that was a pretty nasty shot, but you just can't... You can't really have mangonels going when the enemy's got culverins. It's the biggest issue. They'll just snipe out your mangonels. So, I think if GUA just death pushes here, he's got it. Having been a victim of his death push, once he gets these bombards up, it's difficult to deal with them. And Black Riders coming in. I'm actually pretty fired up to see some Black Riders come in here. But very similar to what we saw GUA with last time. He's got more archers, but a lot of hand cannoneers. And then he's going to start mixing in knights for a strong front line. And FILISBERTO's just been going with these elite crossbows, which are cheaper but not as good as hand cannoneers in this late game. Still trying to get Manganiques up. Army value is just giant difference in army value at this point. Destroyed value in favor of GUA by 20,000. And when GUA is not doing raids on the backside, you know you might be in trouble if he's coming for the full push. He thinks he's got you. Culverin gonna start working down the wall and keep on this side. Big fight happening in the middle. I think if GUA could get some unit producers up, closer up to the front, that'd be super, super beneficial here. First Black Rider's in. Basically a super hand cannoneer unit. Yeah, the Black Riders are really good. And the game gets called. FILISBERTO taps out. He says, I've had enough. And I think FILISBERTO's win condition was probably those sacred sites, but not able to hold it in the end. Great games by both players. GG's. And GUA up 2-1 in the series now in a best of 5 series. So FILISBERTO won the first game. GUA stormed back, took 2 games in a row, and it was an ugly one for GUA, I'll be honest. But I've said this a lot of times, he's a really resilient player. He doesn't give up very easily. There's a lot of times that he could tap out in a game. Like that you would look at it and you would say that game's over. Like GUA's lost this game. But he just stays in it, man. He just stays in it. Makes units. You can see the villager count, how many villagers they were both losing. The Swabia was huge. And I mean, there was a time in that game, FILISBERTO had 3 landmarks down. GUA only had 1 landmark left to stay in the game. Like, Berto had wiped out his whole base, but felt he couldn't push in through the cannon towers, pull back, aged up. And then I think GUA kind of had it from there. That was the space he needed. So, hell of a hold there. Even after the failed Burgrave attempt by GUA, that was a wild game. Like, Berto blitzed on water, GUA failed Burgrave attempt. Almost lost the game going Swabia. Lost 3 landmarks. And then somehow came back in that game. So let's get in here, see if they're already starting on a game 4. Which it looks like they're just in the lobby. But the last 2 games have been scrappy games. Really scrappy games, the last 2 games. Yeah, while we're waiting on them, we can actually take a look at what civs they've played. What civs they haven't played here. So GUA's got... GUA has already played French. He's already played English. He's already played HRE. So he's got... On this next map, and I don't know exactly which map it's going to be yet, but he's got Japan, House of Lancaster, KT, Mongol. FILISBERTO's got FILISBERTO just played Ayyubid. He played Malian. He played Abbasid. So FILISBERTO's got Byzantine, Juji's Legacy, Tughlaq Dynasty, or Order of the Dragon. And I know something FILISBERTO and I talked specifically about was... possibly using Tughlaq on one of these hybrid maps, but that probably would have been Golden Heights where they're really good. And so it might be a little tricky on these last 2 potential maps. Because we've got Dry Arabia and Lipany. So you probably want Byzantine or something like that on Lipany. They also might be, it looks like FILISBERTO's finally in lobby, but also wouldn't be surprised if they're taking a short break after that last game because it was kind of a crazy one. So they've got Lipany and Dry Arabia left. If you're a GUA, I mean, Japan's going to be good there. You can play Japan on either of those maps, but probably Japan on Lipany. You could technically play House of Lancaster on either. You probably don't want to play Knights Templar on either of those maps. It's kind of a shit map for Knights Templar, both of those, because Knights Templar you want to save for your hybrid maps. And then Mongol you can really play on either of those maps too, so you're probably trying to play Japan on Lipany, and then House of Lancaster or Mongol and Dry Arabia. And then if you're Berto, you're probably trying to play, I would think Byzantine on Lipany, and then like Juji's Legacy on Dry Arabia, but I guess we'll see what the draft, how it works out for them, because they've got to pick 2 civs for a map, and then their opponent can snipe one of them. Yeah, I would kick some nerds' butts if I was playing. Those, specifically these 2 nerds that are playing, kicked my butt, so, you know, it happens like that sometimes. These 2 nerds are even nerdier than I and better at this game. So they are both in lobby now. So hopefully cranking this game 4 up soon. There's always a little bit of an observer delay, so not too big of a rush here. Yeah, clumsy for president. You know, I would be a pretty good president. Maybe not a president that people would like, but I'd be a good one. Not what the people wanted, but what the people need. The Khan we need. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, dude, we get a little... So we got game 4 here. GUA taking on FILISBERTO in GUA's USA Cup. We're going to have an observer delay, which is pretty normal here. And they're playing on EGC Lipany. And this is going to be a really interesting matchup, actually. So, obviously, being a Mongol guy myself, I would take Mongol in this matchup. But I actually think Order of the Dragon's really good here. Especially, you know, Lipany is like an old school map. It's kind of like a Age of Empires on release, like Generation 1 kind of map. And those old maps are a lot more defensible. They were much more like centered around going like 2 town center, kind of booming with your economy. That's what Lipany is. Lipany is not really like a easily... it's not an easy map to be super aggressive on. But I'll be really interested to see how GUA plays this Mongol map. Of course, I would be making a lot of Mangadai, but will be interesting to see if he, you know, does any Dark Age rush, because Civ like Order of the Dragon, I'm normally gonna Dark Age rush. So let's get into it. FILISBERTO is starting with an absolute herd of sheep around his town center. So we've got FILISBERTO playing as the color yellow and playing Order of the Dragon at the bottom of the map. And we've got Give You Anxiety, also known as GUA, playing blue. Playing my signature Mongols here. Not the best civ in the game, but the most fun civ in the game. And... I don't normally critique players, but since I play Mongol a lot, what you really want to do here is you want to put your town center by gold woodline, because right now we've got villagers walking back and forth to a dead tree. we just want to put the town center on the wood line, because we always, if we're going to go for a D-rush, we always want our villagers with short distance to the wood line. So it looks like he's not going for a Dark Age rush. He's just going to get his sheep now. He is doing a good job. He's going to actually use the GUA to pick up sheep, while his Khan also picks up sheep. So you get a little bonus with the GUA capturing sheep out here, which is nice. And what would be really sick, though, with this setup that he has, this is like a perfect spawn if you're a Mongol player. You just doesn't have the TC quite right. If you put the TC between the wood and gold, you pull your GUA out on deer. It doesn't really matter if your UU is protected or not. And then all your villagers, your food villagers, go out to deer, harvest deer. Then when you get fighting later, you've already eaten these. You can use your sheep under your town center. And you don't need a GUA for your wood or gold. But what's really interesting is you can technically double produce villagers if your town center's within the UVU range, which is pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see if he does that or not. I've only done that a few games, but it actually does work pretty well. I think he doesn't quite have the stone. He could technically do it if he wanted to now, but on the other side, we've got FILISBERTO, who is playing Order of the Dragon. And of course, his villagers take longer to produce, but are better. So they take 60 food, take a little longer, 3 seconds longer to produce, but they gather resources 28% quicker, and they build and repair 20% faster. They also have more HP. So FILISBERTO always going to be behind in villagers, but these guys are literally super villagers. You just look at them and you're like, man, those guys look like absolute chads. You know, I haven't played as much Mongol this season as I would like, especially because I was playing in this tournament and trying to like practice some other civs. But yeah, I'm gonna start playing some more Mongol again, and I think always it's beneficial at the beginning with Mongol to just use the stone on units. That's just how I play the game. But I think later on in the game, like let's say you're like late castle, or you're not focused, when you get to a point where you're not spamming units based on stone, which I really only do that like early, mid-feudal, then the improved eco upgrades are really good. You should save stone for that. I mean, I think the improved, like this costs 500 stone, right? But the normal double broad axe is 15%, this 35%, which is crazy. Right, that's like a crazy upgrade. I think Mongol has an underrated economy, which I think it's had an underrated economy for a long time. Like its early economy is not great, but its late game economy is really underrated with the improved eco-techs and trade, because their trade's crazy. So yeah, ages up with deer stones, which I like. A lot of the time, most people will keep their deer stones here, but when I play, as I'm sure most people watching this and who will watch later know, I'm going to go like Mangadai Keshik, drop this deer stones in your face, and then raid your wood line. So, if we look at their bases, kind of FILISBERTO's layout, is he's got 2 forward wood lines, which is kind of rough, because he can get raided on those, so like small walls will be good. And then he's got a kind of far out gold, but deer near that gold. So if he just focuses probably on securing the left side of his base, then he'll be solid, and he doesn't even have to worry about defending over here yet. So he does open with a Gilded Horseman, which are basically super horsemen. Everything with Order of the Dragon is more expensive, but is stronger. And GUA just going with the Spearman. It's very interesting. And then opening up with an archery range, and the Khan doing a little scouting. So very compact base here for GUA. He got the GUA up on the wood line. Gilded Horseman just trying to cause some idle time. Not really thinking he's going to get a kill here, but just idling. And the Deer Stones is nice just for the faster villagers, right? So, classic GUA raid. He's going to try to get down here. Probably, you know, apply a little pressure to the gold line. FILISBERTO kind of circling him like a shark right now with this Gilded Horseman. Both players just kind of making units in feudal here. Wheelbarrow coming in for GUA. Steeled Arrow coming in for Berto. A little Spearman raid here. Those vills, I thought they were about to pull the civs for a second. They were walking out there like they wanted to smoke. So I do really like what FILISBERTO's got going here with the blacksmith upgrades already with the mine work. I like that a lot. Tower coming down here. These walls are going to be super important. So GUA is going into Mangudai. Unfortunately for GUA, FILISBERTO has the exact 2 counters that he needs against Mangudai. And what you really want to do here, a little scouting and raiding out here, is if you're going to fight against Mangudai, you want these walls, and I'm only going into such specifics because I'm such a Mongol guy, you want these walls far out. If these walls are close in and you have Mangudai and a counter, you can shoot, you can throw down a falcon and shoot over the wood lines. So you really need the walls far away from your villagers here. And you probably need arrow slits in a wall here. So FILISBERTO trying to raid, but GUA being kind of a menace with these spears. Like doing a really good job forcing the Order of the Dragon Cav away. You can see just how much damage that Order of the Dragon Horseman does against a Mangudai. That's why you never really want to screw with these things with Mangudai. So yes, the Mangudai can chase them down, but the Mangudai are much slower. You can see 1.56 against 1.88. And they deal 31 damage to a Mangudai. So, those of you who don't know, FILISBERTO, like me, is also a Mongol main. So, he knows how to deal with this, right? Like, if you play a civ enough, you know how to defend and deal with a certain civ. And GUA snacking on Deer out here, about to go for an age up, which is really solid. It'd be interesting to see if he goes Krulatai or Steppe Redoubt. So, there are certain trees, I'll find some for you, that you can put units in for concealment. So right now, actually, I can toggle Fog of War from FILISBERTO's view. So this is like all the Fog of War, you can't see anything. I've just been using the caster's view. And so, you cannot see over tree lines. Trees block vision. And units cannot stand in trees except for Stealth Force, which is like this. Units can hide and stand in Stealth Force like this. But normal tree packs, they cannot. So, chasing away, these Mangudai are just dead. Mangudai Khan's Hunter can't fight against Gilded Horsemen. So, Steppe Redoubt coming in for Give You Anxiety. And there's 2 paths Give You Anxiety you can take here. One is, you start printing out units, you try to get relics as fast as you can, and you play a castle game, or you go for your fast imp. I kind of felt like GUA would be a Krulatai guy as well. I'm actually really surprised by this. Because Steppe Redoubt normally, you know, it's the eco option, right? So 50% of the gold that's dropped off at the landmark, or you get 50% more gold dropped off when you drop it off at the landmark. Which is a crazy bonus. So he'll have to drop a market later and sell, or, you know, buy some resources with his excess gold. But right now it's great for upgrades. And if he decides to go fast imp with the Cognate Palace, then it's going to be really good for that. It seems like GUA would just fight in castle, knowing GUA, but you never know. You never know what tricks he's got up his sleeve. Berto going up with the Burgrave Palace. Just a really good all-around landmark, so I think if you know you're going to get a lot of relics with the regnants, you can go regnants. But if you're making... Oh, nice little hit from the spearman here on the Order of the Dragon, but you can see how damn good these Gilded Horsemen are. But if you know you're going to be constantly producing units out of the Burgrave, I like going Burgrave with the Order of the Dragon, because I make a shitload of units, and they're really cheap. They come out faster. So again, this Mangudai raid gonna get absolutely sniped. GUA is making some units, but he's also got a bit of a resource float here. Dude, that spear just got a triple brace on those horsemen. That was wild. So a lot of upgrades for FILISBERTO, probably because he's got the mine work, but not as many upgrades for GUA. You can see GUA, no blacksmith upgrades. And a lot of blacksmith upgrades for FILISBERTO, which is a big difference. Oh, hell yeah. Checking in from North Africa, dude. That's what I'm talking about. That guy's the Duke from Tunisia. That's what I hear. That's what everybody's talking about. So there's actually a guy who I play. Decent. I used to play him a lot. I don't play him as much these days because rank difference. But he calls himself the best African player, which he probably is. And he and I used to play on ladder all the time, dude. He's like... I'm pretty sure... I want to say he's also from North Africa. So GUA getting horticulture, and this is where things get a little weird for Mongol. Like, once you eat the deer, you have to go into these pastures, which are really expensive, which is good long term, but it really sucks to make them at first. So he's on berries right now. And this is where, like I was saying, you want to drop a market. You just collect a shitload of gold from the step redoubt, you drop a market, and you buy a lot of resources, because you're going to float gold. And FILISBERTO just kind of deciding to YOLO it in here. Maybe reconsidering his decision after he saw all the units. But I think he's got a good comp against what GUA has here. GUA doesn't really have much to bring these Gilded Men-at-Arms down. He does scout out the relic, and he's just probably going to pick this up and run as far as he can until the Khan kills him. GUA also guarding this relic. So, Order of the Dragon already with one relic. Two coming in, but one monk probably to die soon. And I think FILISBERTO just trying to get a little, you know, a few pickoffs here on the villagers. If he can keep the villager numbers, like, pretty close, then Order of the Dragon's in good shape, right? The Mongol economy is not really good compared to Order of the Dragon. So he keeps it close. He's going to be in good shape. He's about to eat through the rest of his deer pack. Starting to run a bit lower on the gold, but looking pretty good overall, man. He's got this next deer pack and berries here. He's pushed GUA off the wood line. And this is actually one of the things... I was talking about earlier in the game with how you position your town center as Mongol. You always drop your town center on a wood line as Mongol. You don't... It's kind of a cardinal sin to not put your town center on a wood line. Because if you can't protect your wood line, the game is over. Like, you've lost the game if you don't have wood in Age of Empires. So... FILISBERTO is going to hit him on the back on these berries while he's attacking on the front. It's a great move. So a lot of villagers going to go down here. He's taking a good fight at the front still. I think GUA is just... He doesn't have the crossbow numbers to deal with these kind of Gilded Men-at-Arms. Nor does he have the Steeled Arrow upgrades. Khan and Mangudai trying to be annoying here, but... It's only one feudal Mangudai with no range damage bonus upgrades, so not super strong there. Now the Rams are coming down. So GUA does this a lot too. if you ever play against GUA, is he'll throw some villagers out on some resources way across the map with no tower or anything. So it's difficult for FILISBERTO to find, but if you're used to seeing a player do it, you kind of know they do it. I do the same thing. I think this is a death push from FILISBERTO. So the military is 53 to 24 right now, and he's got an eco lead as Order of the Dragon. And this is maybe where, if I was playing Mongol, I was like, it would be really sick if I had the Kuulatai right now, but this is game. This is for sure game over. You know what? The last 2 games, GUA was down, and he really is a resilient player and claws his way back, and he wins a lot of games. But I don't think you're stopping this. Yeah, these archers are doing exactly what they should do. They're microing down the crossbows. Once the crossbows are microed down, there's nothing to kill these gilded men-at-arms. They will not die under a town center. This dude can sit here all day. He's got 290 HP. And that's game. So, GUA calls game. That was game 4. GG's to the players. And that puts us at a 2-2 series in this best-of-5 series. And after 3 really close games, I think that was the first game that was not close in this series. I think the first 3 games, there was a lot of back and forth. They were all long games, like hard-fought games. There were times where, you know, one side versus the other had an edge, but the other side would always hang on and, you know, take a fight in the base with defender's advantage and hold on. But FILISBERTO looking pretty dominant in this one. And I think that's why I always Dark Age Rush Order of the Dragon when I'm playing Mongol. Because if you give these guys time to age up to Castle Age, like, that's where they're really strong, right? So anytime I'm going into a game against a civ that's really good in Castle like that, and I'm playing Mongol, I'm thinking I need to, even if I'm not tower rushing, like, I need to get some spears out in Dark Age, push them off their gold, make sure they're not getting greedy deer or anything like that. But great game from FILISBERTO there. You know, the KD, it's always going to be skewed for Order of the Dragon because they have stronger units. But really good KD there. He was starting to pile up the Rams. You can see in the economy count, even with the step readout from GUA, still collected more gold. And I think he had to go step readout there. Just since he was going castle that fast and didn't push the Order of the Dragon economy, like didn't idle, didn't kill anything. So I felt like he kind of had to go step readout, but Kuulatai is just so strong in those fights. It's just a really good landmark. Pretty much always go Kuulatai these days. So total unit count, villager count, anytime Order of the Dragon has more villagers than you, you're going to have a bad time. Military count, nothing to kill these Order of the Dragon gilded men-at-arms at the end. So FILISBERTO able to take it. And the last map's going to be Dry Arabia. GUA is a player. The civ he was playing, Mongol, is a really good early game aggressive civ, actually, funny enough. So they have like a weird period. They're like a really, it's the civ I play the most. Yeah, Mongol's very, very good early game. And like if I play Mongol, which I pretty much always play Mongol, I'm going to attack pretty much as soon as the game begins. And I'm just going to try to like overwhelm people with pressure, kill lots of villagers. Like anytime I play Mongol, I'm trying to like trap people in their base. I don't even want people to leave their base. I want to just surround them, kind of like a blockade. And Mongol has a weird period where they get kind of weak in what we call Castle Age, which is more like mid-game. But then again, in like at very late game, Mongol becomes really good because they have Mangadai, which are basically horse archers which shoot while they move, and those units are crazy good in the late game. They also can't. They're the only civilization in the game that cannot make walls. So you have to be really good at probably the biggest thing with playing Mongol is you have to be really good at map control and being aggressive and applying pressure, because if you're not applying pressure and keeping your opponent in their base, you're going to lose the game. Like you can't build walls. Your towers are weak. You're really weak defensively, so you can't allow the opponent to pressure you like that. So we got Dry Arabia here, game 5 out of a best of 5 series, so winner takes all here. We've got FILISBERTO playing as Juji's Legacy, and GUA, Give You Anxiety, playing as Japan. Yeah, there's a lot of different civs in the game. And, you know, each has kind of unique strengths and weaknesses. They're all really unique. And, you know, some civs are good in early game, bad late game. Some civs are really good mid game. Some civs are really good late game. So after you've played the game enough, you kind of know what you think each civ is going to do. And so Order of the Dragon's one of those civs that I don't want to let them get later into the game. Because they're a really good civ. As the game progresses, they get better. So I haven't seen a lot of Juji Legacy against Japanese games, so this is going to be really interesting to see how it plays. And I think these are, again, two civs that are not really known for their great feudal game. They're not known for their great early game, but they kind of hit a spike in power when they get into Castle Age, which is your mid game. So definitely interested to see how the two players play this. This is pretty standard build by FILISBERTO here. I'm interested to see if he takes his sheep to the berries. I do this exact same thing. So some players, I'll introduce the players first. So we've got FILISBERTO, series tied 2-2 right now. FILISBERTO playing in teal as Juji's Legacy. And then we've got Give You Anxiety doing my favorite thing to do with the Japanese, which is why I love them, is the Dark Age Barracks. So this is going to be interesting. I do this with Juji as well. Some people will put their mill like around here, so it's closer to the town center, and the sheep on the other side. So they drop off at the mill. But I've always liked doing my mill on the berries, because when I finish the sheep, they'll go to berries. This spearman's going to come across the map really fast. So, GUA going with the Dark Age Rax build. He's got 3 on wood, which is generally going to signal to you that he's going to drop a tower. So, he's going really aggressive in Dark Age here, which I love, because pretty much every chance I get, I Dark Age rush. Now, I just switched players here. GUA doesn't actually know where the resources are yet, right? So he does what you always have to do. You just kind of send the spearman to the front, and you try to find the resources with your scout and spearman deering. So he's going to get over here and push these villagers off gold. Now remember, you know, FILISBERTO, Juji's Legacy, they don't need as much gold to age up. He's just going to rotate villagers out for the gold, interestingly enough. You know, the really unique thing about China and Juji's Legacy is this pressure on the gold very rarely works. So, if you're going to drop a tower or pressure here, it's got to be on the food. If you ever early rush China or Juji's Legacy, it's got to be on the food. Early pressure on gold does not work I guess it can slow down pro scouts, but you can still get gold from taxation from this mill. Right? So this is gold that's just building up at the mill that this guy's going to collect. And we don't really see... He's not really poking the villagers, which is interesting. He's just trying to burn the mining camp. And now he's finally poking the villagers. I'm not sure if he was just macroing back here or something and didn't see it, but... I mean, FILISBERTO mined a lot of gold there. And this is what you want to find. So when you Dark Age rush... Oh, dude. This is good. When you Dark Age rush... Juji's Legacy is always going to be try... He did hear me, dude. I'm like, why are you burning the mining camp? So, you always know Juji's Legacy is going to try to be greedy with the Meditation Garden. And so that's why the Dark Age Rush is good, because it forces him to put it by the town center. And he found it. He's got to cancel it. He's either got to pull a bunch of villagers or cancel this shit. Oh, he's pulling it, dude. Oh, the villagers. He pulled out his shiv. Did you see that? Pulled the shivs. Yeah, I think he's going to get it up by pulling a lot of villagers, but this is a lot of idle time on your villagers to come out here. And if these other spears, they're not... Man, those other spears were just chilling for so long. That's too bad. This is a really good meditation garden. I would also just sit here and burn it with the spears now, but... Kura Storehouse coming up on the backside, so he's getting the basically Japanese wheelbarrow tech. And then Kura Storehouse, which will automatically create farms around it and serve as a drop-off point for resources. So it's basically a lumber camp as well. And FILISBERTO, just interesting to see what he goes for here. You know, clearly looks like he's getting wood for a unit producer. It is also, like, really interesting he put this on stone. Maybe he just scouted and didn't think there was another good spot for it, which I think I tend to agree is there's not really a good spot for his meditation garden. Like, I don't know. He couldn't put it out there because of spears, but probably got as many resources as he could out of this one. And now GUA's left the gold mine, so he's just gonna go back over there. He's like, don't mind if I do. I'll make some spears, and then I'll go get back to my gold mine. So having spears burn this does reduce the amount of resources that FILISBERTO is getting from it. With 5 villagers on gold, you know, you're definitely thinking that he's gonna try to go pro scout still. Spamming out a shit ton of spears, and every time that a spear is produced here, more taxation builds up at the barracks. You typically don't want your imperial official to supervise production buildings. You want them supervising resource drop-offs or collecting gold. So eventually he'll want to switch this guy. I think he just did it for the initial blitz of spearmen here. GUA is actually scaling to castle. If these spearmen get here, and they are shift queued to this gold mine. GUA going pretty greedy without a tower. I mean, that's pretty ballsy play to not build a tower if you're going fast castle. So he's going to get pushed off this gold, and then he's going to have to reevaluate the strat that he's got here. Because Berto's going pro scouts, and you cannot... he's got to leave the gold mine. So that's a really good hit by FILISBERTO. GUA pulling back the spears now. Oh yeah, gonna rush a tower that's in town center range, so you really can't hit these villagers with the spears. FILISBERTO not seeing it either. Now going for it. I think this tower is going up, but I mean, significant idle time caused. Some of these spearmen are gonna go down. Villager does die, though, and I'm still considering that a win for FILISBERTO right there. So, Give you anxiety trying to stop this pro scouts though, and he's gonna be able to. It's kind of funny these two players going back and forth here because, ooh, scout just got destroyed. Because FILISBERTO was like, fine, dude, burn my meditation gardens. I'm gonna go hit your gold mine. GUA's like, I'm not pulling my spears back. I'll just deny your pro scouts. So, kind of a funny back and forth there. You know, GUA clearly going castle. Will be interesting to see if he goes floating gate or temple of equality. Obviously, this outpost is in kind of a crap position. It's not really good. He's going floating gate. So the reason this isn't good is your villagers can't quickly garrison in it, so they've got to walk from here to the tower, and you can just idle them for days with these spearmen if they've got to repeatedly go to the outpost. So Pro Scout's coming in for FILISBERTO a bit late because of that initial Dark Age rush by GUA. And this is going to be really interesting because GUA is probably going to have a timing here. He doesn't have a stable, so it actually looks like he's going to... Is he going samurai or, you know, what's he going for? No stable is down. The spear's just committed here, which I was a little surprised by, but... Maybe just a misclick. So, no upgrades at all for FILISBERTO. Just Pro Scouts, no upgrades. Only the wheelbarrow upgrade for GUA. He's got no stable. So is he going mounted samurai? Is he going with the racks? Oh, he puts it in his town center. So he puts it in his town center for the eco bonus. So villagers are going to now produce every 15 seconds instead of 20. Now he's going to try to go get relics. So if you're... Dude, this is good play by GUA denying these scouts on the deer. But if you're FILISBERTO, you need to defend relics. If you're GUA, keep defending deer like you are. He's doing a really good job there. FILISBERTO hasn't even gotten a full deer pack yet because these spears. It was like 4 spears too. So Palace Guard being annoying there, but does go down. Springled Tower on this outpost now, so there's no more... You can't really raid that gold mine once there's a Springled Tower there. FILISBERTO's scaling as well, and just remember his Castle H costs less and comes in sooner because of the build speed of GG villagers. First relic picked up on the map. Mounted Samurai coming out of the stable. I really want to see what he does with this second Yurishiro. I like putting Yurishiros in my forge. Like, I'll put forges down and I'll just do like 1, 2, 3, 4. But I like the temple of equality these days, but if I go Yurishiro, that's what I do. Might actually have a scout go down still. I think it's going down. Ouch. Shaolin Monastery coming down, so we're going to have some bald men coming out to pick up the relics. You need a lot of food in store to get these guys pumped out. But the bald men are also really good at fighting is the bonus. 1 relic dropped off by GUA, so this is actually really good. And what you want to do if you don't have many mounted samurai raided, if you don't have many priests, you just like drop the relic off and then you'll bring it to the monastery later. So this mounted samurai is going to be a pain. Lancers are going to come out for FILISBERTO, so we're going to see Lancers against mounted samurai, spearmen as well. Bald men are coming out to grab some relics. Still no upgrades from GUA. And GUA floating a lot of resources too because not enough production. I mean, this stable's super backed up. He did put a Yurishiro in it finally, so it's going to make mounted samurai a lot faster. And yeah, I think FILISBERTO's got to be really careful against how many mounted samurai are going to be on the field now. And, dude, he's still killing these scouts. GUA is still... How many scouts has GUA killed on this pro scouts? Because it's insane. Ooh, GUA trying to... He's kind of diving with these mounted samurai. And he was trying to move out on food on his berries on the right side of the map, but there were spearmen here to contest. So this is a dive. A lot of villagers scrambling to find cover. Luckily, there are villages. And there's a lot of mounted samurai going down in the base. Probably not worth a villager kill. It is causing a lot of idle time. There's a second town center already coming up for FILISBERTO. Pretty surprised by that. I'm like really surprised by that. Sometimes you can get yourself killed against a heavy cavalry rush going 2TC like this. But he's spamming the spears out, which is exactly what you need in the situation. That's just a really dangerous play up against heavy cav. You can see these spearmen are just feudal spearmen, so he really needs a spearman upgrade. Give You Anxiety has picked up most of the relics as well. So the thing about going to Shaolin Monastery is you're really trying to get relics when you go for that. So if I'm late to Castle Age, most of the time I go to the other landmark. Yeah, and once these samurai come out, this is gonna be dangerous for FILISBERTO. GUA is definitely gonna have a timing push here because he's going 2TC. Spear's still trying to raid on the backside. But if GUA just goes mass Yumi here, which now he's scaling behind this, and Berto goes Spearman Crossbow, FILISBERTO's gonna be in trouble, dude. He did finally get a relic pickup here, which is pretty nice. The other thing is he could just make a lot of Shaolin monks as well to help front against Yumi. So a lot of raiding here. I think GUA sees, he sees the 2TCs. He knows he needs to do a lot of damage, right? So this is GUA's kind of time to make hits, but this is too many mounted samurai going down without villager kills. So I'm a really bad. I lose too many units during raids, so I'm really bad about that. Like I'll send units into their deaths, legions and legions of my own men to their deaths in the enemy's base. What you really need to do, like raiding on the outsides is fine, but if you're going in on the base, you need to critical mass your units and then you make a push. You know, you don't want to do this small unit packs running into the enemy, because you're just losing your unit mass, right? Like you need critical mass to win fights, and when your units are just getting picked off like that, especially against a guy already on 2 town center, that is not good. GUA grabbing the sacred sites, which I like. Ideally, he would have more unit mass right now because FILISBERTO's on 2TC, and you would grab the sacred sites and put FILISBERTO on a timer. Instead, GUA is just matching the second town center. He's like, hey, I'm not able to break you right now. I'll just go 2TC as well. So we're going to be in for a long one, I think. You know, you're going 2TC with these civilizations. Go ahead and buckle in for 20 more minutes. But personally, I love Japanese. It's one of my strongest civilizations, apart from Mongol. The mounted samurai, since I'm such a cav player and such a raider, just such a powerful unit. The normally mounted samurai would match up really well against lancers. Lancers do also have a unique upgrade. I think it's in the blacksmith. Is Juji's Legacy can get Dali horses, which increases the attack speed of lancers. So lancers actually, that helps them out a lot against these mounted samurai. Yeah, also it would be really good if GUA got this second upgrade. I try to prioritize, after playing Japan a lot, mounted samurai raid here, lancer raid on the woodline here. I try to get this daimyo palace because your harvest rate of farms increases so much. I try to prioritize this a lot, even before my second TC these days. Mounted samurai is still back here. FILISBERTO microing, or sorry, GUA microing that mounted samurai really well. More farms going down. And there is a bit of an issue here. When you're playing Japan, one of the things you have to think about is, like, you want farms around your town center because this aura. And if you're building buildings around your town center like this, you're reducing the amount of farms you're going to have in the radius. So, like, this, normally what you're doing is GUA exactly what you want to do, which you don't want buildings far out because they can get raised. But here you really need farmland. You want, like, all this is farmland. He can still do it with his second TC, but he's got to get the upgrades, which he doesn't have, and it costs a lot of stone. Yeah, No Song Dynasty is rough. That's a really good point for FILISBERTO, and he is making farm. Ooh, without the granaries. FILISBERTO. He just got the Song Dynasty in. Lancer Raid on the backside of him. I would expect granary, right? To at least encompass these. I don't know, because it matters where it's dropped off, right? For the granaries. It's not just an aura. It is coming down now. So the full farm transition is going to come down with Song Dynasty, but it does hurt, like you said, Jade, for these farms to get built without it. I'm still liking GUA's army a lot better here because he's got mounted samurai. I mean, you got 14 mounted. You've got pretty close in military numbers, but you've got mounted samurai mass. Then, yeah. Once his granary transition's done, though, Juji is going to be an absolute menace. So, I still think GUA's... I don't know how much he plays Japan. I've played Japan a lot, so... Again, I'm nitpicking a little bit. He's got to get these daimyo upgrades. And again, this is something FILISBERTO and I talked about several times, like pre-game, is you got to wall against GUA. He loves these split pushes, man. He loves them. You've got to have walls up in these situations. But I think GUA's military is really looking pretty good right now. Ooh. Nice spear hit on these mounted samurai again. More berries and more walls. I like this by FILISBERTO. You know what GUA is trying to do with these guys. Just keep making more walls. He does break in up here, and that's going to be a problem when these guys get back into the farms, which they will. He's giving FILISBERTO the runaround. He's going to send these mounted samurai back into the farms. Yumi probably to the wood line. This is a problem. That is a problem. You gotta split some of these spears off, ideally, and he's losing a lot of villagers. Oh my, he's on... Bro's on 3 town centers right now? One of the things FILISBERTO and I also talked about, which is pretty funny, is not being too greedy. Because I think, like, FILISBERTO is a fantastic player. He was over 2K last season. So it's probably like top 30, and you know, I'm not quite there. I was like 50 something. But he's a greedy player. That's just how he plays, and this is greedy, man. You go 3 town center like this, that is greedy, bro. You're gonna get pushed if you do that, right? And you gotta somehow survive this push. Like, one of these town centers needed to be farms. Or a keep. He could literally put a keep back here, and that would be a good thing with the stone. He's on a timer with the Sacred Side now, so the game is not as, you know, far from over. There's a lot he can do here, but he is losing a lot of villagers. And the mounted samurai, He's lost a lot of them, but the Yumi mass is growing, and that's going to be the problem, I think, because Yumi counters everything FILISBERTO has. He actually canceled the palace guards. I mean, he's got to make some lancers to try to handle this. More units stream across, and now GUA is just going out on the map for food, right? Boar, double deer. He knows he's got FILISBERTO on the base. He knows he's got a potential game-winning push here. He's got all the sacred sites, 3 relics. He's out on the map for food. And this is the kind of gameplay that I like. Like, if your opponent's going to go 3 town center, you just push, man. And look at the food income for GUA right now. His food income's insane. He's got 55 guys on food. Got all his upgrades. This is a death push right now. You honestly need villagers garrison in all these town centers right now if you're going to survive this. I would garrison however many villagers. It says 31 villagers in here and start sniping out Yumi. We got to bring these Yumi archers down. Ooh, pop capped after the village goes down. And it's looking bad for FILISBERTO, I'm not going to lie. This is looking really bad for FILISBERTO. I think GUA, if he pushes right now, he's going to win this game. This town center's going down. You know what would be sick right now? Is if FILISBERTO had some knobs. If FILISBERTO has some knobs, this could... Knobs are really good on the defense. He could actually potentially hold this with a bunch of knobs. But, yeah, this is game, dude. He's going to have a final fight here. And you hate to see it end this way, but I also think, you know, you get punished for greed in this game. And Imperial Age is coming through for GUA. And if this wasn't a tournament game, and I was, like, if I was just playing this game on ranked ladder or something, and I was in FILISBERTO's position and this Imperial Age comes through, I'll just surrender immediately. Oh, he got a lifeline with the keep out here on gold. Dude, I wouldn't have hated to just see the keep in the base near the granaries, though. 29 mounted samurai for GUA right now. About to go to 34. I feel like this has been a great series by the two guys. But once this Imperial upgrade comes through, this elite upgrade comes through for the mounted samurai, then he just walks into the base. And Zhugnu are not going to do it. Hate to say it for FILISBERTO. It's just looking rough right now. These villas are going down. He didn't even garrison them. But look at these elite mounted samurai. Let's compare them to a lancer right now. 230, 25 damage. 270. 37 damage, 53 charge damage. You never know. You never know. I've seen crazier comebacks happen. GUA did run out of this, the deer. It's probably low on the boar. Ran out of the deer here. Started farm transitioning in the back. He did upgrade his town centers, which is a fantastic job by him for the food. He's got a lot of upgrades coming in. And I'm not sure why he's backing off. I mean, I guess he's waiting on the bombard. The bombard really helps with the death push, but it's a nice little counter raid by FILISBERTO trying to get back in it. Like, if you're gonna get back in it, you need some raids with the lancers, right? I mean, I guess GUA's just Getting all his upgrades, not taking any chances, right? Getting biology in. Maybe once he gets biology in, he'll go ahead and push. Maybe that's his thought process. I will say though, FILISBERTO's got 35 freaking Lancers now. And while Lancers are not going to beat Imperial Mounted Samurai, that's a lot of Lancers, dude. And a lot of crossbows. And FILISBERTO! FILISBERTO! Come back! He's trying to get a wraparound on him, but he's at risk of losing all this eco because he's gonna wrap around, and I would just go in as GUA. Dude, this is it, man. This is it. This is the final battle of the series, most likely, right here. FILISBERTO gonna come from behind with the Lancers. He's got 40 Lancers, but they are not elite, and the Yumi are just going to run in the farms. This is what I was worried about. You got to front this, man. He's just going to run in your economy. Yeah. It's difficult because you want to get the surround so you can crush the whole army, but then you have this happen. And yeah, I've had it happen to me enough times. Yeah, 40 Lancers, dude. This is going to be a massive fight here. He might actually be able to trap him in here and crush the army. I mean, I think GUA would take this if he would just fight, but he's killing so much eco, I'm also not sure that it matters even if he lost this fight. And, you know, it's a mosh pit at the front now. This is the final fight. 30 Lancers left, but there are 40 mounted samurai at this point in the game, and there are just too many elite mounted samurai, and they're gonna cut through these Lancers. No, there are I think there are Dolly horses. No, there are no Dolly horses. I take that back. So no Dolly horses in that fight for Shuji's legacy. And the game gets called. So fantastic series for the two players. I think GUA, the last game, just kind of put on a clinic there. That was just a really good game by him. He was kind of all over the map there. From, you know, denying pro scouts. Like the Dark Age rush, denying pro scouts into the Castle Age with the Mounted Samurai was a really good play. And both players played a really good series, had some really good games. But GUA is going to win the series 3-2. And so FILISBERTO is officially knocked out of the tournament. And it's going to be GUA versus Makomi, which is going to be a rematch in the grand finals of the Winners' Grand Finals. So if we take a look at these games, GUA with a great KD there, which also happens when you snowball at the end, you get a lot of villager kills. But just the economy on that game was really good for GUA. And I know he's fired up. Because he was down 1-0. FILISBERTO took that first game. And after you lose the first game in the series, it's really, really hard to come back. You know? Saying the obvious here, but you've got to win 3 out of the next 4 to come back and win after losing the first game. So it's really quite an accomplishment. Yeah, resources gathered just too much. If we take a look at the bracket, GUA at the bottom here, losers final, just beat FILISBERTO 3-2. So he's going to move on and play Makomi at the top up here for the grand final, which is going to be a best of 7, which I think I'll probably also cast. Just depends on the timing and when things are. So GG's to GUA and FILISBERTO. Great series. Fun to watch. Fun to cast. A lot of good games there. Grand Finals are rematch, so Makomi just beat Give You Anxiety 3-2. So we're going to see how that goes. And, of course, your favorite here, Clumsy Goldfish, lost in loser semifinal after some, actually really a pretty good series against FILISBERTO, but just not quite enough. So thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. Hope you have a fantastic evening. I'm going to hop off, and I'll catch you guys next time. I'll release some videos this week for the Conquerors out there. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.